Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans from all over the world. Look, sorry we're late. That was so stressful. I've just been unwinding. I've been taking time off. I've had an extended time away from the computer and doing angry tweets and all this stuff. And then now I've already got that knot in my back again of stress after listening to these dumb cunts who can't even use fucking Skype. So what I want, before we introduce anything, before we do anything else, I just want everyone to, at home, it doesn't matter where you are. I'm going to let go of my mic button, but I just want you guys to all get out your anger, all right? I'm going to let go of my mic button. I'm going to yell as no one's home right now. I'm going to yell as loud as I can, and then we're going to get the show started. We're going to get that anger out. We want to keep only the good vibes, all right? 1 second, please. All right, cool. So the anger's gone now, and welcome. We're here with episode 5 of season 4. You want to let the anger out, guys. Let their anger out. So today we're going to be covering such amazing topics as David P just fucking being a little bit of a sneaky bastard. With some of the worst things that happened in 2019, predictions for 2020. We'll be looking into other bits and pieces, rebrands. We all love a good rebrand, and looking at the top 20 so far. So let's get this one underway. Striker, how you doing? Say hello to everybody. Okay, Striker's dead.
He's not gonna say anything.
Prof, say hi. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Lucas, say hi to everybody.
Hi guys.
All right, cool. So we might be going into World War III, everybody, but we won't talk about that now because we have a special guest yet again, and it is Chet, aka ImAPet from EG. Hello, Chet. How you doing?
Great, man. Besides the technical difficulties, like it's been pretty good.
Yeah, we can fix anything with computers. I came back. I let fucking Stunner use my computer while I was gone. Come back and the rear ports of my with my sound card aren't working. So this is the thing, you know. Sometimes your life gets fucked up, and other times it's going well. Now you just said something to us. I don't know if you want to tell everybody. You guys are practicing again when?
February 1st.
So you have a nice little extended break. What's your plans for that break?
I mean, I literally just have been going to the gym and playing League of Legends like every day, so I've done nothing, honestly.
Okay, so let's get.
I can attest to that. We've been playing a lot.
Yeah, fucking League of Legends, man. That type of game.
The game is horrible. Like,
pixies and wizards, and we don't want any of that Pokemon shit. We don't want any of the Pokemon shit. We want the fucking headshots and the shooty bang bang. But right now, Chet, I've actually hurt my voice by yelling as loud as I could. Anyway, Chet, what we're gonna do? We're gonna dive into your origin story right now, and I want you to think about all of the really good fucking trailers for movies you've seen, like the Batman and the deep voices and the one man with one. I want you to give us like an impassioned video trailer of the origin of you as a coach, your alias, everything. Give us that. Give us a nice little soundbite that we can milk and really take to the bank.
I don't know about all that. I think my voice is naturally deep, So you want my origin of my nickname first? Holy shit.
Yeah, the whole kind of story.
All right. I mean, I guess nickname comes from just being an idiot and trolling online. So, I used to have Ace as my nickname with like a capital C for Chet, and like I thought that was sick. And then I went on Twitch, and then I discovered the art of trolling, and it was pretty sick, honestly. And I picked this alias where if a streamer read it out loud, they sound like an idiot. And, it does work. Like, if you say it out loud right now, like, you're going to sound kind of stupid. So, kind of just stuck with me, and now I guess I'm the stupid one.
The thing is, like, now when you introduce yourself to someone, you're an idiot. So
yeah, I mean, I don't say my alias ever, so we're good on that.
Mate, I'm a 30-year-old man, and people go, "Oh, what's your handle thing?" Like when you meet like a girl's parents or this guy, or you're talking to your grandparents or some shit. I'm like SPUNJ, and they're like the thing you clean dishes with, and I'm like, yeah, and like, why did you pick that? I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter why.
At least your spelling is cool and stuff. Like mine is straight up like what it is. Like I have nothing to fall back on. I can't save mine.
You're just a pet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like there's no saving it.
So I think what probably a curious thing would be, how did you get involved in terms of coaching of Counter-Strike? Because we got the established where the nickname came from. We all come up with stupid fucking nicknames, so we'll let you off the hook there. But how did you get involved in Counter-Strike and coaching and all that kind of stuff?
Honestly, I was making a website with a friend of mine. It was called the CS Gopher. It was basically like a really super budget HLTV. Like we were trying to make our own stats and stuff like that. and because I was super into like betting and like all that other crap, like when CS was like in 2013, 2012, whatever. And yeah, like I was super passionate about it. So I always wanted to like get the numbers and like make the right predictions and stuff like that. And then I got more serious with like the analytical side, like just like knowing strats and stuff. So I kind of took a shot at it and just like contacted a few teams, did some stuff for free, just kind of hustled as much as I could, and just made sure like my name was known. And then through a few connections here and there, like Hazed, for example, from CLG at the time, he helped me out quite a bit and got me like my first like trial at CLG. So I guess I have to thank him for helping me start my career. But yeah, like pretty much me just doing stuff for free and just hustling as much as I could and making sure like my work was good was pretty much my main objective for me getting me started.
So I think that's a curious one, right? Like the question I always have from the sidelines, because coaching when I was still playing was still, it wasn't in its infancy, but you know there wasn't a clear way to do things, and I still feel now there isn't a clear way of doing things. So when you went in to CLG, what kind of things were you doing for them then? Like what was the baseline? Oh, we've got a coach, you know, where this is a new thing. How were you contributing to the team back then, and how has that changed kind of throughout your career?
Honestly, I think when I was in CLG, I was trash at what I was doing, but I think things have changed quite a bit. Like at the start, I was kind of more just focused on the other team and not my own team or anything like that. Like I was more focused just on anti-stratting, and that's like all I cared about at the time. And then I think through the years, like especially on Optic, I think I learned the most on Optic with Freiburg and Alu and etc. Like I learned to care more about people and like the individual and more focusing on ourselves and improving ourselves. So if I didn't have that period of time in Optic, I probably would be horrible still at my job. Like I'd probably still focus on the wrong things, stuff like that. Like
Well,
that.
why did that team like kind of lead you that way though?
I don't know. It's just like I felt like I had to do something differently. Like I like the team didn't need someone to anti-strat all the time. Like we were just playing default CS and we were having like all these different strats and stuff, but like none of it really mattered because we had all these other internal problems and there was no one to solve it and no one to do anything, and like someone had to become in that role. Like someone had to be in that role for the team not to die faster, even though it did die. But yeah, like I think that just pushed me to kind of get more into that space of coaching. That's probably like kind of the main changes. And then with energy, I kind of just kept refining my craft, like reading up on books, making sure people are good, making sure like team talks and boot camps are more productive and stuff like that. Just making sure like overall there's no bad tensions and everyone's happy with each other, and that at the end of the day we're still making progress event to event. That's kind of how things are now.
So the social side's obviously like a big thing that you have to take care of, and I would say that, you know, when daps was on the team and stuff, you'd look at your team when they were NRG as more of a quiet bunch. Now that Tarek and Stan have come in, though, it looks like that's changed a bit. Is that social dynamic something that was changing throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we obviously needed someone to be hype because when we're down, we look horrible. Like there's no one to bring us back up, and I'm not the type of guy to just like scream. Like I'm not like Zonic, you know. I'm not screaming like a shit ton. Like I don't even think I'm capable of producing that sound. But like, I just think like Stan and Tarek, like especially Tarek, like he just decided like one day like, you know, we need to bring the atmosphere up, and we talked about it, and he was just like, I'm gonna be that guy. And then Stan came in, and I wasn't expecting it at all, but he kind of became like a different person from when I last met him on Optic, and he kind of just like let loose, and he was just like, you know, I'm a different person. I'm gonna show you guys like why I'm a good leader, and he just kind of like took over that role, and like that's huge props to him, honestly. Like I wasn't expecting it at all, and I think it definitely helps. Like when we're down deep in matches, like him yelling or like him saying something that like maybe people in the past I've had in that role haven't said, like it definitely brings the mood up a lot. You definitely need it during the game.
Okay, so this is why I'm really good at my job, because I use that as a segue into our next little header for you, which is keys to success in 2019. Do you think that was one of the keys, and what are some of the other things that, you know, led you guys to, other than having Breeze on your team, to being a force, you know, to be reckoned with as 2019 continued forward?
I think in 2019 the yelling definitely did help. I think it made us a lot more momentum based as a team. Like we kind of ride that first pistol round win, like all the yelling, all the hype, like that definitely has changed us in a way where it's as if we start cold, it kind of gets a little bit harder for us, which is something obviously we're trying to fix for this year. But overall in 2019, I think the things that helped us the most was probably honestly our boot camps were probably the most amazing thing that we've done all year. Even with Fugly and Daps, like we were having insane boot camps where we were improving so much. It's not even about the scores of the scrims. Like it's mainly just about like us improving as a team and having good teamwork. Like I think people learned a lot from playing a lot of Euros like every day, and we were playing like a lot and reviewing like constantly all the time every day. Like it was a constant grind in our boot camps. I think that pretty much like led to any success that we had in 2019.
Okay, so yeah, hit it. What do you got?
I have a sub question where you're talking about Tarek. I wanted to ask, what was your reaction to that Tarek interview where he said that he doesn't give a fuck who you're gonna play, that you're gonna win the major at the Starlighter major in you were before the semifinal, right? Which you of course lost. So what was the initial reaction to that?
Like at the time or
at the time, yeah.
I mean, at the time, I don't care. Like it was all hype. Like we were all hyped and like we were winning. We were like I think we were 3-0, 3-0 or something like that, or 3-1, 3-0. Like we're just riding momentum. Like he could say whatever he wants. Like no one's gonna say anything. Obviously, we look stupid now, but whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, well, you guys had probably one of the crazy. Actually, you probably had the craziest year out of all of the teams to do with the travel. I would say. Now, is that a symptom of the fact of kicking off the year, you guys weren't in the same position as you were for the last 6 months? So in the beginning, you were obviously getting to like finals, or sorry, you make it to playoffs, and you were looking like a very strong contender of a team. But then as soon as like the invites, they just like came in like a flood. You guys just accepted everything. Do you think that was like a component of accepting every event?
Yeah, I think that was our downfall. Like we're winning. Like as soon as we won New York, we got a bunch of invites to a bunch of events, and we were just like, all right, we're winning. Like let's ride the momentum. Like we play default CS anyways, so like we're not like adding crazy strats all the time or anything like that. Like we just play like off each other pretty much, and we have good protocols, reaction setups, whatever. But obviously, little did we know, like that kind of gets stale after a while, and like without practice, you're not really like rejuvenating your playbook at all. So people kind of figure you out. And no matter how many reactions and protocols you have, like if you're kind of doing the same thing, it kind of messes you up. So yeah, like that momentum that we were riding, and like it kind of just halted as soon as we hit our first like big loss. And then yeah, that's something we kind of learned from. So in 2020, like we're kind of trying to do the exact opposite, and we're trying to pull back a little bit. But obviously, it's kind of hard still because we're kind of locked into Blast, and we have like IEMs and stuff to go to as well. So it's kind of hard to skip everything, but we're kind of going to try to do our best and make sure we have proper time to boot camp. Like before Cologne and Katowice, obviously you want to be prepared for those because they're $1 million this year. So we want to make sure we're boot camping for that, and we want to make sure our start of the year is going to go well as well. Because like for Blast London, we don't want to show up and get washed either. Like it's important to make top 2, I think, in that group stage, so that way you don't have to come back. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So yeah, we just need to make sure that we have way more practice than we did, because we realized those boot camps that we had in 2019 really did help us a lot, and yeah, we just need to keep like having those boot camps to make sure we have any success.
I guess that means in Europe, right?
Yeah, boot camp in Europe. We did one in NA last year, but that's because Tarek just joined and we just wanted to build chemistry. So we probably want to do that again though.
Yeah, so I think what we can move into next, because we are on the clock with these ones here. We're trying to keep everything quite succinct, quite high paced. So what I want to move into next is to do with throughout that year and also throughout your entire career. You've been working with a lot of different kinds of in-game leaders, and I think 2019 is very contrasting, right? Because it's someone who you would say is probably more of a structured in-game leader would be Daps, and then now you're with Stan. What's like the transitions been like, and when you work with new in-game leaders, are you the one changing how you do your job, or is it like you're working it out on the fly? Like how does that all go?
So yeah, I think when you're transitioning, you're kind of trying to see what they like, and then you also show them stuff that you like to do. So like as far as like game preparation, this is something we didn't do with Daps. Was we would set like the first pistol round for each side, the first anti-eco that we want to run, first, like 4 spy we want to run, and obviously you don't have to use them the first round. Like it's not like that, like black and white. Like you can do it whenever you want, because those are strats that you think will work no matter what will happen, because you did your homework. Like it's based on preparation that I've done or that he's done. Like we kind of just like figure stuff out that's gonna work like more often than not, and that's kind of how that transition went with Stan and daps. And then I guess something else that's kind of different between the two is like you obviously pointed it out. Stan is like a lot more of a hype man than he used to be, so that kind of helped us a bit because we were kind of dead all the time. So I think that's another like big difference. And I guess also calling wise, since daps is more structured, obviously it might be easier for teams to read, but it's still a good style because you know where you're gonna get to, like you know A to B and B to C and all that. Like if you do it well, like you're gonna win the round. But if you mess it up at any point or they interrupt your default, then you're just gonna be screwed. And then there's Stanislaw style where it's kind of very similar, but people have a lot more freedom. So like let's say, you know, we're on train, Breezy's going IV with Cirque, like they have 10 different plays they can do and they don't have to wait on Stan to say it. Like they have all the freedom to just like do it on their own. And if they get the kill, then we have a system where like there's so many reactions and protocols that like Tarek and Ethan, you know, they're above ladder, they're gonna help react instantly to help them get more space, like go old bomb, split inner, all that kind of stuff. I think that's the major differences.
This is one I'm always very curious of, and for you being coaching over all these years, when I look at Counter-Strike now, it looks to me like the game in the last like year, thanks to the Australis year we had in 2018, everyone has had to become so much more knowledgeable as individuals. Like everybody has to know like every smoke now. Do you feel, and everyone is like tuned in to take a duel in every single corner they peek. And the game, I feel when I was playing professionally, didn't play anything like this. Do you feel those changes from the coaching perspective over the years?
Yeah, I feel it's a lot harder to like win rounds, even especially with the new economy. Like things, every round could be a gun round, and you have to be aware all the time. I think that's what made things change actually. Like people just have to always be constantly aware because there's no easy rounds anymore. Like you always have to be on guard, and like you always have to like flash properly, and like you can't just YOLO anymore. Like there's no Glock rounds really. Like I can't remember a game where I just see like a full USP round, except for maybe like if T's don't plant like on the pistol. Like it's so rare. But I think that's like the biggest change that's happened through all the years, and honestly don't know if it's for the better. I think it kind of sucks right now with the way the money's going, but that's a whole different topic on its own.
Yeah, so you're a man after my own heart here. It's like they feel like what they're doing is like sucking the best parts of the ebbs and flows of the game just out, and now with every round being a gun round, it's like, yeah, sick, people get to be awesome individually, but anyway, like you said, different time. I fucking hear me rant about that shit for hours.
Yeah, I could as well.
We have heard you rant about that shit for hours, by the way.
It's good fun, you know. I like to rant, but something that I think probably the coaches would love to rant about, and I don't know how you feel about this specifically. Now, I don't fucking write these. Prof writes these, so the one that he's whacked on here is not getting that much recognition as a coach. Now, how do you feel about that? Like, because when we're behind the desks, the hardest thing for us to usually talk about is what a coach does, because we can only see how they react behind the team and how they, you know, look like they're talking within timeouts. How do you feel as that from your position as being a coach?
Just the recognition at all?
In general, yeah, community based or across the line here, because like we've touched on, you would probably have you started from an analytical base, right? So yeah. How do you feel about all that?
Honestly, I don't think, like, the recognition's nice and all. It's like a little extra bonus, but honestly, I feel like it doesn't matter to me, at least. Like, if my teammates are satisfied with what I'm doing, and like if they expect more, then they'll tell me. Like, I'll ask them or anything. Like, I just want to make sure my team's good, and if we're getting results, and I guess that's all that matters. Like, I don't really need like extra followers or clout or whatever the fuck. Like, it really doesn't matter, honestly. What I have now is perfectly fine with me.
So I guess what could be this would help me as an individual, right? So if I was asking you a question of what does every day as a coach look like for you, like what's your workload when it's not a tournament day, when it's say just preparing to start getting practice going, and you obviously haven't had that feeling in a long time because say you guys haven't had that. Yeah, but what's that every day kind of like?
I guess so. I'll pretend like I carried on from another practice day, so it's easier. So like, let's say we just had a day of practice. So the next day, I'll wake up, I'll have my breakfast, all that crap, and then once I get my PC, I'll check the list of stuff that I wrote down in my notes from the day before. So like if I messed up a molly, or if we need a better one, or if someone messed up a setup, we need a better one. Like either I'll make it myself, or I'll find it, and then I'll converse with Stanislaw about it. And then if we have matches coming up, I'll spend time preparing for the matches. Why not? Like I have so much time. And then I'll watch like games that are going on, or I'll watch demos that I haven't watched yet, because I try to watch as many as I can, even like the shittier teams, just because. Well, I shouldn't say shittier, but even the worst teams, just because they always have like these neat ideas, like Mad Lions, for example. They just have all these cool ideas that I can take. Like they've proven the concept. Like why am I gonna go out and waste my time? Like I might as well just take what they've done and like make it my own. So that's like stuff I look for before going into practice. And then obviously we practice for like 6-7 hours, and then we have to do a review right after or the next day. So that requires me to look through all my notes, and then we go over those specific rounds to not waste time. Like pretty much how it goes. And then if there's like a fight or something, which rarely happens in our team, then you can just pull those people to the side or just talk to them later, like what happened, what went wrong before the next practice.
Okay, so we got to do a bit of babysitting in that regard. Now, Prof or Strike, you got any questions? Because the timer hasn't started in my ear yet, so I assume we still have a little bit of time.
We have like 2 minutes. So I have one question. Obviously, Cirque had a good like second half of the year, and that kind of coincides with Stanislaw coming in. And of course, because it's the second half of the year, all of these plebs on HLTV are like wondering why Cirque wasn't the top 5 player of the year, because they forgot the first half. But
yeah,
that aside, like why did he kind of just improve like drastically when Stan came in? Like there was some talk about it, like setting him up a bit more and stuff like that, but like from the inside of the team, what can you share on that part? I think that's kind of interesting.
I think he just, like you said, like he kind of just tries to set up the opera as much as he can in our system, but also like it's still flexible for like Breezy and Ethan to do whatever they want. And kind of Dan has this thing where like he wants to make sure all the people in their team know like every nade and stuff. So it kind of helped him like know like all these different flashes, people can support him. And I guess all the reactions that Stanislaw has brought as well, like from his experience, also helped. So I think naturally, like if you're bringing an in-game leader and he's bringing all this stuff and it's improving your game, it's just going to improve everyone's game. So he didn't do anything specifically just for Cirque, but I think us just getting better as a team just naturally improved his performance.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything right now, actually.
Sorry, I have myself muted. That's probably not a great idea. All right, well, we got the last 40 seconds, so the bomb's going to blow up. We can chat. You got any words? You want to say anything to anyone in the community? You want to fucking look at someone down the barrel and say something nice?
Honestly, we're going to beat Mouse Sports this year, I promise. I swear to fucking God.
What was it about them, by the way? Now that you got into it, what was it about them? Obviously, you lost to them 4 series in a row, was it?
Yeah, I don't know. We're so out of practice. Like I feel like that's fucking us the most. I really feel like that's the only problem. If we had practice between any of those matches, we would win. I feel like. But right now we were burnt out and we're fucked. So that's my argument for that.
Okay.
All right. Well, nice. Mouse Sports, Regin, Chet's coming to fuck you up. That's what he said. Sleep with one eye open. Anyway, let's get to the recent news, Lucas. Let's do it.
Not his first rodeo.
Yeah, I didn't think Lucas.
Stop screaming into the mic because it fucks up your volume.
Oh shit! Yeah, it does do that. All right. I'll get a whisper. All right, so we're gonna get into the recent news now. Everybody needs to get your buttons going for the Yane and Nang because there's gonna be a bit of that going on here because there's been a lot of different roster changes that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. For those of you who haven't been familiarizing yourself with the news section on HLTV.org, so the first one that we actually have listed here is to do with David P and the Heretics thing. But I think what I want to do is quickly just rifle through a bunch of these roster changes that they're going to be noted, and we're going to talk some of them in a little bit more in depth. But let's just give the thumbs up, thumbs down now, just to give our general impression, and then we'll get stuck into to some deeper points as we go through here. So everyone got their buttons ready?
How does one button here?
You have it in the TeamSpeak chat.
Oh,
Okay.
I should have been a little bit more clear with that. It should have, does it say guest at the end of it, Lucas?
Yeah, it does. It says it's pretty clear.
Okay, cool. So when everyone's ready, let me know.
Go. I'm good.
You
Where do I do this? I'm a little lost.
Lucas, talk him through it.
It is
So
in the.
you basically just click this link, and there's a
Oh,
button.
okay. Yeah.
Use it.
Alright,
to
I'm
answer.
good.
Easy.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. That's why we have Lucas here to fucking fix things.
Thank you, Don.
Alright, so what's the first one I've written down here? Okay, so the first one we're gonna yay it or nay it is big, adding adding Keto and syrsoN, and Nex and smooya getting the bin. Do we think that's a good or a bad? Yay it or nay it? Alright, Chet, you're the only one who thinks it's bad. Why do you think it's bad?
I mean, I don't really understand the move. Why did they not remove Xantares and go for a full German lineup? I feel like that kind of doesn't make any sense, because it seems like Xantares was the worst performer anyways. So why not just make the full transition and go full German and just see how that goes and see their communication's better in that respect?
Looking at the stats, he wasn't actually. He was still kind of okay-ish. Next was kind of on the same level, but from what I heard, their plan is to just switch to German anyway. So Xantares is just going to be, because he was taking German lessons before, and they'll just continue like switching to German, but with Xantares. That's kind of the plan.
They were already teaching him German in the beginning, right? When they had the roster changes initially. I think that the fact that getting rid of Nex again, I think that's the one there that we just sit and go, fucking hell, Nex has been thrown around like a ragdoll within that team. But
like a Chris J.
Yeah, but syrsoN is a player who coming in makes a lot of sense. Like I think he's very legit, right? They've watched him when he was on Sprout and stuff. He looks good. And then Keto, the Keto one is like, if he can just be more consistent than Nex, which shouldn't be difficult, it's like not the end of the world. It's just still surprising that like Tizian's still there, which means he must really do a lot as a support player for that team. For like he must bring a lot in that regard. For that squad to still be having him there, but we'll keep it moving. We'll keep the ball rolling. The next one I got here is obviously this is the flow-on effects, because with Keto and syrsoN leaving, we have Sprout adding Oskar and dycha. Do we think that's a good move? Yeah, you don't know it.
I mean, it is probably worse than having Keto and fucking syrsoN, but
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do we
have to take into account they couldn't keep them.
Yeah, exactly.
Likely,
like, do we take the fact that that syrsoN and Keto left into the decision or not? Like, are we saying is this better than the other one?
The way that I'm looking at it is it just we don't have to look at like because they got poached. Don't worry about that. That doesn't matter in this scenario. It's the players that they've added. So do we think that the Oskar, like, you can change your little thumbs up or thumbs down now, but do we think that the addition of Oskar and dycha will make sense with the roster that they have left, because they have Spiddy, they have Dennis, and they have Faven? So you're going to basically be bringing these two names in to be your firepower.
Yeah, I kind of like that from the Oskar perspective. Anyway, I haven't seen enough of dycha to be able to say in his sense, because I've only really seen stats and sometimes as he played. Stats wise, it looks like he's going to be able to put up the kind of fragging that like a syrsoN did, or maybe like a Keto when he was on a good day. So I feel like from that perspective he's going to be fine. But I especially like it because of the Oskar angle, just because I expect him to be a lot of like to be put into focus again, which I feel like wasn't it. Well, I guess it was kind of the case in Hellraisers, but that's kind of where he needs to be to shine, and they need Oskar to shine to be able to move up the ranks. So from this perspective, I kind of like it.
Prof, you changed yours. Why?
Yeah, just like when you named all of the players, it just doesn't seem like a team that's gonna go anywhere. It's not like very scientific, but the constellation of players it kind of feels like patching things together, like patching 3 socks into 1 sock because all 3 have holes. That's how it kind of feels to me.
What the fuck? I mean, I feel like
obviously, like in America, you guys have a lot of socks. I'm here from the poor Eastern Europe, so like, don't bully me, please.
I mean, I feel like it's good long term, just because they're getting international. That's gonna. Oscar's like a really good player. He was a really good player in 2018. Obviously, shit's changed. Times are different, but I still hope he can still hold that value that he used to have, and not what he did in Hellraisers. And then like just overall, like if later down the line, if he's playing well, he can attract other players to join that roster, or vice versa. Maybe he'll just leave, but I hope that's not the case. And then they could just like cut Speedy, Dennis, or Favin, or maybe that Polish guy that they added will get cut. Like you never know, but like they have like a lot of options instead of staying only German and just getting poached by big all the time. I think that's a huge benefit of adding these
Instead
players.
of being poached by big, they can be poached by any team in the world now. So that's
that's also a possibility. But like I said, you hope for the performances of these two new players to be really good, that it attracts these other players. Like who's to say like if someone gets cut from another team, that they won't just like maybe they're like, oh, okay, maybe Sprout could be an option. This is all hypothetical, but like
no. I mean, I agree with you to a degree. I think it's a good point of view.
All right, let's keep it moving. Cloud9 picking up ATK. Do we think, considering what was available, that was a good move for Cloud9? Yay or nay?
Okay. This is rough.
We got. Am I reading this right? 3 of us think it's good, and Prof thinks it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sold on this lineup altogether, and it's just like it's hard. If this was I don't know what organizations to say, but for Cloud9, this feels like not a exciting team.
Cloud9 haven't done any. Cloud9 have not made a good decision with the roster in the last since Stewie and shit decided to leave.
A year and
right?
a half at least. Yeah.
So since then, every single decision they've made has been terrible. At least with this one that they've gone with, it's like a team who's like they were already a team. They haven't
that is true. But it's not like a super stable team. I mean, more or less, they've been around for a couple of months, but it's not like they accomplished a lot, really.
He's also saying though that what they had available to them. I feel like there's nothing better at all.
Yeah.
Like, what could they have possibly done?
Unless
like,
they went European, right?
Yeah, and even then, like, I don't even know who's available in that respect.
They would
like,
probably have to buy
decent.
somebody out anyway, and that would have been probably more expensive
with
than
these,
an org like KTK.
With these players, there's like less investment. Like they're probably not making nearly as much as like Automatic did or Daps or anything. So there's less investment for them, and they still get to have a CS team, and they're still competitive. Like they did well at that Odense LAN.
And
what do you think? Is in the next year? What can this lineup actually accomplish, or does that even matter? Like that's the thing. Like if they just want a budget CS team that's in NA, then I guess it's okay. But it's not. I don't see this team doing much.
But I mean, if you look at it comes back to the options, right? If you look at the options, like Cloud9 is literally at this point the third best ranked team in North America by a mile. Like the next best squad, the next best team is Riot Squad, who is at like 100 points less than Cloud9. So at this point, like you don't really have any good options anyway. So it's like this is probably the best they could have done. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's also like they're not going to take another risk on building another lineup. I feel like first of all, it's hard to get an IGL, and then it's hard to get 4 other people to buy into it. So they might as well just go with the safer option and see if that team can develop, or if any of their players get any good, maybe they attract other players to that team. Never know.
Yeah, I think as well, like a broader thing here, if you look why they're getting numbers, they need to get a team for the NA League. There's like all these other brands, right, who are trying to come in for that NA League who don't even have teams yet. So if you're Cloud9, you can get these guys on the cheap. Everyone else is going to have to get the rest of the fucking scraps. So with the little bit of promise they showed, it's probably a risk worth taking overall. But I got one last one, and then we'll get stuck into the fucking French. We'll have some fun with them. All right, Neo to Aristocracy. Do we think that's a good move or a bad move?
Is there like a meh button?
Maybe button.
Can I get a meh button, please? I literally have no idea.
So, Prof, once again, you're the only one sitting here with it as a bad move. Why do you think it's a bad move? I think the whole Polish thing's fucked.
Like, how can it be a good move? Like, where is the angle?
Let me give you the good angle. The good angle. Here's the good angle. You get fucking Pasha on the phone. You're like, yeah, Pasha, you want to come play some Counter-Strike? And he's like, yeah, I'll fucking come. Now you got Taj, you got Pasha, you got Neo. And then you go, well, fuck, Cuban. He's not coaching. He's not coaching VP anymore because they're fucking not a team. So on the phone, Cuban, you haven't played in a while, mate, but you want to come play? And then what you do is you join the circus that fucking Dignitas are starting right now. You get Sean Gares and Freakazoid, they can make a fucking team. And then you do a show match series of Counter-Strike. This could be it. This is ARCY's idea. This is what they're trying to do. This is what Aristocracy are thinking, I'm telling you. And then You get all the old school teams. You just start traveling around the world to different places, and you just putting on
We
show
can get the old
matches.
Navi, all retired now.
And we script it like WWE. So it's just it's legit just show match Counter-Strike. All the rounds are scripted. You get all the highlights that all the fans at home want. Pasha comes out, he's flexing the biceps, Neo's there, you know, doing his thing, Taz is there, winning, like driving around in Mercedes and shit. Let's fucking do that. Let's bring it back. Let's just have some old
It's
school.
perfect for the new Dignitas team, by the way.
Exactly, and then then all the old boys, they can make some money. Everybody wins, sell some merchandise. Let's do it.
I mean, this legit sounds better than having 3 identical leagues in CS:GO in next year. So I'm all for this. Maybe you can pitch this to that like B-side guys. Maybe they can just turn it all around. They can't find good teams anyway, so this would be a great solution.
Yeah, could be one way to go about it. Now we're gonna get stuck into the little dot points that have been laid out here for me, so I can cheat off the homework kind of thing. Now, can someone explain this whole Heretics situation to me? Because I'm not fucking looking at tier 3
Well, basically,
teams.
David, let's put it like the most simple way we can, right? David P got kicked from Heretics, aside from Devo Duvek, but he was the captain of the MGL team, or on the SCA, the ACA team, and he just decided to kick the other players and keep it with Devo Duvek for his new team, right? And apparently, according to rules, it's okay. Yeah, whoever wants to start, I'll leave my thoughts to.
I mean, anyway, like this lineup changed like 9 players in the last 6 months, and most of them after the Heretics guys signed the team, because it was like X3D Max before, I think. So essentially, they just like signed the team and kicked everyone in the matter of like 3 months. So I guess kind of trying to not even get back at them. I mean, David P is the in-game leader. I don't even know how they want to function after kicking him, but he just wants to keep the ESEA spot. Probably nothing was signed about the ESEA spot, like there's nothing in writing about the whole thing, so he just kept it, right?
I think like I saw some stuff on one of the forums somewhere, and like people were like up in arms about this whole situation of him doing it. People forget how shit used to be. Like, this is how shit used to be. It's the Wild West, right? Like, you get caught, and people are vindictive and fucking all this kind of stuff. But I think what we could do here, do we need to talk about the drama? Do we think, yay or nay, do we think this was any drama?
I don't think so. I think David P, he did what he needed to do, and big balls to him, big respect. I think he should just take what is rightfully his. Then these guys need to earn their way back in. He did the right thing.
You guys seen what David P looks like? He definitely fucks, so I can respect this shit.
I have no idea, actually.
David P, he's from Belgium, and he definitely fucks. So that's all I'm saying.
I would really like to follow that logic there, but I can't.
You don't need to follow the logic, right? So we just say things, they get a reaction. That's kind of what.
Look,
we're looking for.
like in David P's defense, just to add on that, it's obviously like with how, and this is something that Prof mentioned actually, it's with how much they changed. Like, he's basically like one of 2 original members from that team, so like it either goes to him or the other side. And like, if he was the one to create it in the first place, I guess it's just whatever.
Look, if Cloud9 can use the coach rule to get into a major and everyone's going to be clapping, then why the fuck? Like, these are the rules, and they are the rules. Like, the captain has this extra power on ESEA because of these situations, so people can't like take over the team from the guy that's been there from day one, right? So whatever.
But the roster now, I guess we could look at the roster now. Because French Counter-Strike at the moment, obviously we've got the G2s and the Vitalities of the world, but the tier 2 pool is not looking great. So the team for them at the moment is Keo. XMS has come in. They have Maka, who he was back in the fucking doldrums of the French for ages. Lucky as well, being fucking bounced around like a ping pong. And then it's Jayan, right? Like Jayan, I think it is.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the team right now. Does this excite anybody? Yay or nay?
Where's my button?
There we go. No one gives a fuck. So that means we can move on to talk about more that people don't give a fuck about. So LDLC. I know we're really excited about these guys. Some names that everyone loves to see.
How'd you even find this team? I'm joking. Obviously there was a news
What?
today, but other than
On
that,
HLTV.org, actually.
Yeah.
other than that, like no one would remember they existed.
They were
because,
playing
like,
in what was it, like the ESL French Championship and stuff. Like I think that's the best that they were doing.
and they like,
Yeah.
actually, I'll actually thumbs up it.
Ooh.
Wait, what are we
Actually,
talking
thumbs
about?
up.
I completely missed.
We're talking about the new LDLC lineup, which is
Oh,
recorded
okay.
but not announced. It's
Logan.
Lambert, yeah, Lambert, Sixer, Haji, Logan, and some guy called Gringo.
I
Who
respect
doesn't
it.
have an
I respect
doesn't
it.
have an HLTV account. But look, at least it's something new, something exciting. You never know what you're gonna get. So
I
Good
feel
shit.
bad for
That's
Haji.
yeah, okay. That's the most like boring answer I've ever heard.
I don't know. I feel like
So-
Happy got shafted here. I don't know what happened to him. He was insane before. I just
Well,
don't know what
but
happened.
he hasn't been for like 3 years now, though.
I know, but I really hope one of these lineups, like, he'll be back.
Oh fuck.
I feel like there
That's
has
a
to be a
big
reason
dream.
why he keeps
Boys,
getting
boys,
kicked
boys,
right
boys,
from
boys,
everywhere.
hold up. I know we could sit here and talk about what Happy hasn't done in the last 3 years of his career, but what we need to do is move forward because we only got just 6 minutes left on this one. So let's quickly go through this. I don't really want to talk about this next one very much, so we'll just say, do we think that the addition of NaTo and HS to Nordvind is going to make the team any better than they were before? Yes or
Look, we have a
no?
former teammate of HS here, so
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
I
three
mean,
of us think
I'm
yeah.
actually not sure.
actually, they
I don't
actually
know,
lost their best player though.
And Halzerk, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like these
I'm
two
gonna-
players
I'm
have to
gonna
be upgrades though for the rest. Like they're not bad players.
Oh, that's fair enough.
I actually
yeah.
have no idea the level they're at though is the problem.
I mean, if you don't know the level, then it's a low level, right?
Yeah.
If it was a better level, you know where they are. So that's kind of my thinking. Like HS and NATO in their like mixes or teams that they were in, like for a short term, they're at a level above Nordavind for sure. So I think that's and like Norwegian people know how to speak English, so that shouldn't be a big issue overall. They have like Rubino and Kroman, and who's the fifth? I don't know.
Pensky? No?
Tensky, yeah.
Tensky, no?
Tensky, Rubina, yeah.
So
He's
like,
not, the one, he's not among the people who got kicked, right?
it's probably hair, whatever.
There's not much to
No,
analyze.
it's Chrome,
Yeah.
Rubino, it's Chrome and Rubino, Tensky, HS, and NATO, and we just have to wait and see what
Reportedly,
happens.
anyway, yeah.
Okay, this one's a big one, boys. You know, this one gets people around the world a little bit limp having to hear the news about this one. But Dick Stacey, he's out. He's no longer
Dick
part of-
removed, boys.
He's shrunk. You know, we say when we go out there in the cold water or at the beach, you know, your balls, they go back up inside you. And well, Dick, he's disappeared. Do we think that Dick Stacey being removed and Hats coming in is a good move for the Renegades? Yes or no?
I think this is kind of clear cut, honestly. Like,
Well,
It
I
has
think
to be a yes.
I think the Renegades. You look at Dexter. He's actually fucking legit. STYKO can have his moments there. Inns has come in and actually done a better job than I was expecting because I think Urkas was the star of that team before. And I think with Malta and Dick Stacey, they were both very similar in terms of like individual contribution. So if Hats can come in and he can give them even a little bit more, this is a fucking huge upgrade.
yeah, I
think
mean,
they played
they've
decent
been.
CS. When we played them, they weren't playing that bad. So I don't know who their IGL is. I don't know if you can tell me, SPUNJ.
It's Dexter.
Dexter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he seems to be calling perfectly fine, and whatever coach he has behind him, they seem to be doing a good job. So
No coach.
no coach. I mean, maybe they should get one then. But
I mean, they
besides
had
that,
Milan before, but then he left. So for
Well, maybe-
sometimes, like when they beat you, I don't think they had a coach.
I'm getting fed up with
I
this
don't think so
fucking
either.
freelance lifestyle. So if they can offer up a decent paycheck, I'll fucking do it. I'm over
Back
this.
to Renegades.
I'm over this fucking
Back home.
analyst shit. Anyway, we gotta keep moving. How much time we got left?
3 minutes.
Oh, I wouldn't mind some more time. The next one's a big one. Maybe we save the last one for playtime.
I don't
Maybe
think it's that big. I
You don't think it's that
honestly
big?
I don't think it's that big.
Okay. So do we have anything else we want to say about Renegades here?
I think they just like picked up the right pieces over the last like year and a half, and I'm not sure about Hats. Like statistically, he's a good player. I don't remember watching him in the last like 6 months or something.
He's really attractive as a man, and I think that's important.
Again, he has sexual intercourse,
it kind of remind me of us.
according to SPUNJ.
Like 100 Thieves is the liquid, and then Renegades is like the EG right now. Like, that's what the comparison is like, for me at least.
Yeah, I get the connection. Like they picked up all of the leftover good players.
They're slowly
that are
like picking up the good
underrated.
pieces and like slowly getting better. So yeah.
Okay, well
Have a good year.
let's move into this last one here. Threat replaces Pitta. First of all, yay or nay for that one?
Oh yeah, this is
This is a controversial button you press
Actually,
right here.
I'm gonna go with nay. Actually,
Really?
yeah. Prof, what are you thinking?
I'm waiting for you guys so I can go the other way.
What the hell?
Because I have like arguments for both sides, but I don't know which
Interesting.
I'm gonna use. So I'll go for the nay then.
Okay, well, you're last. Why do you think? What's one of your reasons?
So overall, like I wasn't super sold on Pitta as a coach, but the way they presented his departure was pretty weird for me. The way he's like, everything that went bad in the last year, it's Pitta's fault. And then Pitta is like, yes, it's all my fault. I need to leave. Like, what the fuck is actually going on? Like, they had Get Right there. They had the whole organization doing like weird moves, players coming in and out, not signing the right players at the right time for like a year. Because I don't think, maybe Pitta has, like, as the coach, some pointers, or he can give some information to the organization to like, okay, maybe we need to change this player. But if nothing happened, I don't think everything can be blamed on him as a coach. I think that's like kind of unfair how they announced this departure.
I mean, it depends what the situation is, right? If he is to that degree involved in like those in the moves, because from what he said in that tweet longer himself was that he was heavily involved.
We
in
need the overtime, by the way.
I can take the overtime on this for sure. Fuck it. That just completely destroyed my train of thought. Oh yeah,
about
because he was heavily
in,
he was heavily involved in the Plopsky edition. So I guess he must have been at least to a good degree involved in roster moves. So from that point of view, he also like took responsibility for how they handled Get Right. Which, so like from all these points of view, it seems like a perfect decision to me. That obviously he hasn't made the right moves when it comes to the roster, if he was the one making them or if he was a big part of them. And so for him to leave after a year, after a titleless year and something, kind of makes sense to me, honestly.
To be honest, like honestly, looking at their year, you did the top 10 teams of the year. They finished 11th, just like slightly behind 100 Thieves, right? So they didn't have a bad year in terms of all of the other teams.
It was their first without the title, though. I'm pretty sure it was their first.
Their year was pretty average.
It was pretty average, but look, they lost a bunch of players and did a lot of changes, and Get Right left was like a legendary player, and replacing someone like that is not an easy thing. So I don't know. I don't see it as such a bad.
If you look at the results though, like literally their best results were the blasts. Like all the blasts that they went to, they did like maybe a couple of third places or 3 third places.
Then like a clone. They like snuck through a couple of playoffs.
They literally never made top 4 outside of blasts. Like that's not a good record at all. For an entire year when they played something like 15 events, that's not a good record.
I also feel like if they're gonna lose Forest, which is the rumor, then they need to just like try something completely new with like how they want to develop their strategy. Because Forest is like, I feel like the game wasn't built around him, but he was having a lot of impact, and he's probably like giving a lot of his input. And now they can try something completely different. Like Thread's probably a lot more structured, whereas they seem pretty defaulty and more free flowy when we played them. So I think that's just something new that they can try, and they're bringing in a new opper. So just things could be like a lot better, and they could make the game revolve around that opper.
So just on this, I think that look, we've done a lot of talk about like the coach change here. Do we think with the last bit of time we have left on the clock that having now Nort come in, do we think that he's going to take the primary ARPing away from Twist? Do we all think that's probably the way they're going? We can hit the button.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't, honestly.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know what they would do about Twist in that sense. Then it feels like he's the next piece out in the future because of that.
Just another classic Twist experience in a team.
Yeah,
come in, take the op, lose the op, get kicked.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be out. I feel like he'll be in that team, and he'll just be a hybrid. I feel like he's pretty good at what he does. I don't know. I don't see a world where he just gets cut.
Alright, well, the bomb's gone off, the time's up, but that's the end of the fucking recent news. Now we're going to keep this one moving. I like the pace we're going at tonight. We're going to be moving into the top 3. I forget, do we have a bumper for this one, Lucas? No bumper for this one. This one is going to be the top 3, and it's the worst of 2019. Now this one here, we're going to need to, guys, chip in.
I mean, we can put in 2 ideas from the start, which have to do with game updates, right? One of which being the addition of Vertigo, and the other being the economy changes at the start of the year.
For the start, not this one.
Huh?
Lucas, sorry, I'm talking to the producer. I need the... Oh, it's on the start. Never mind. It's here. Let's go, boys.
Okay, so I think it's hard to look at worsts because I always look back at things with rose-colored glasses. That's why...
Yeah, I don't know about that, no.
I get really angry at shit in the moment because I have a temper, and then I fucking forget about it and I just look at the good shit. So do we think that the Org and the Krieg meta of 2019 was bad? Like,
I don't think it was bad in hindsight. I think it kind of helped people realize how else the game could be played. So it's not. I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing overall.
I would like to put economy changes, like the impact of economy changes is...
We need to kind of define this a bit better because there are a bunch of changes. Some were maybe good and some were bad. So let's be...
Well, the one with the slider thing, right? Where like the comeback mechanic, basically, that's pretty much what we were saying, right? In terms of these economy changes. That's the main part of the thing is like the post pistol one that came already the year previous.
So the 5-round loss bonus.
Yeah, exactly. That's well the slider, that it just changes based on loss bonuses as well, not just wins. Or not win. Well, you know what I mean.
What we call it, the blue shell mechanic that Valve were so kind to grace us with.
I mean, they obviously didn't intend it to be a blue shell. They intended to be it so you don't get super money fucked on like a T-half.
Can somebody explain to me what a blue shell means? I feel like I'm a little bit...
Like it's from Mario Kart. You never played?
Oh, I've never played that.
Okay, so just like essentially,
maybe
it's
like I have
racing karting game, and you have items like gun, like let's say weapons, and if you're last, you get like some super powered weapons. Okay. So it helps you catch up. So
got it.
Strongest one is the blue shell. It just goes directly to the first guy. It's unavoidable almost.
Fucking hell!
And it just directs him.
Look, so maybe I played it, but that's probably like whatever 15 years ago.
Very uncultured.
How the fuck would I...
That's alright. No, that's okay. That's alright. That's alright. That's just, I thought, a reference that everyone of our ages... Chet's a bit young and he still fucking gets it. I'm not referencing cool runnings or anything fun like that yet. Alright, so what else we got? Were there any tournaments that were shit? Is there anything that happened that was
shit.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Blast LA?
That was one of the worst tournaments I attended.
Didn't you have like a top 3 of your own shit that like the worst
I do have stuff that I think is bad.
Say that first. Maybe we could come up with some shit over the year.
I mean, wait, was Lexi B getting kicked this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
That was pretty
Actually,
bad.
that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good entry.
That is a great one.
That.
Yeah.
I by Power Masters would have to...
That was a really bad event.
That one was pretty bad as well.
That was really bad. That's true.
That's thanks to the chat. I don't want to take credit for their ideas.
Honestly, if you look back, I don't remember worse events.
So I by Power Masters.
I'm not good. I don't know.
What about the Blast one though? What was bad about Blast LA?
Well, like from a team experience, like we had to do so much in one day, like it was fucking insanity. Like we had to play 5 BO1s, do signing sessions in between and pictures, and that was awful. Like there's no time to like chill with your team and talk about the game at all. Like that was just like a horrible team experience. Like they haven't done it again, but like they've learned a lot. Like there's a reason they're not doing that again.
That's curious because okay.
And then
I think you have to look at this just for STYKO and Prof's thing here. It's like we obviously, like for you guys, that was your only Blast event, right?
Yeah, it was.
So there's a lot of the other teams, not Renegades at the time, but a lot of the other teams were used to the circus that it is with the Blast days of like having all those bits. I think the fan interaction side of things, had all the fan interaction, right? So that was an extra element on top of it. So I can see how it's a lot. I would have to put I by Power Masters being what, like they fucking had the event evacuated to check people for fucking
that's
weapons.
Pretty bad.
Like you know, it's difficult to get worse than that. I think in terms of that would have to be the worst event of the year, right?
I feel like I can't think of anything that was worse than ImAPet.
That's where
Do you remember the sound? Do you remember the sound when it just came on? It was like super bad. The whole visuals were like, it seemed like a VCR tape. The Vito with all of the graphics looking from like 95. It was awesome. It was definitely awesome.
I've got what was the worst thing of the year. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was that French esport. Yeah, that one there with the singing. And the DJ dressed up like a terrorist in a fucking vest and shit. I've got it here. Oh, the sniper cam!
I don't even know what that is.
The sniper cam was pretty bad, but it wasn't the worst thing to happen in the year, man. Like, that's pretty strong feelings right there towards
sniper cam is amazing.
Segment.
Do we still have that, Lucas? Do you have? Can you?
No,
fire it up?
It crashed the stream last time. I'm not doing it.
We deleted that. Okay,
that one was really bad. Oh my god.
That seems like such a minor thing to be mad about. That it just shouldn't deserve an entry, honestly, to me.
I love that. It was special. It was like, you can't forget it. It's like the counterpit hype guy. It's like legendary.
Do we think there are any worse roster changes in 2019?
I was looking through Cloud9, but I don't know.
Let's go. Chat.
Fnatic kicking Golden last year as well.
That was 2018.
No,
that was 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay, no, then I don't.
So I have one like from it was end of 2018, but since it only happened in the end of 2018, no one can actually assess it. So I think I can use it in this year. It is Zeus leaving Team Liquid the year before they did like the best year ever and became the best team in the world, won the Grand Slam, voluntarily leaving Team Liquid to go play with the Brazilians.
Well, that's with TACO. That's combined.
Yeah, but TACO maybe should have left, because if TACO doesn't leave, maybe they don't become the team they are. But I think Zeus or Dren, I don't think that changes anything. I don't think having Zeus would be detrimental to Liquid. So that is another one of those coach things that we can never know. So yeah,
I don't know about that one for me. I feel like Dren has his impact. Like, there's things that probably
it's just difficult. It's just difficult for us to know anything about that. That's the problem. And I haven't actually heard that much about Adren, like what he does and stuff, like how much he does for the team.
Yeah, and it's been a year, so he probably never will.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that either, honestly.
It's just mega difficult. That's the problem with coaches in general. And I don't think that's going to be fixed anytime soon. It's just something that we'll never be able to know, really.
I think one of the shittiest things for me is like the fact that Hellraisers got to play in that major and we never even know how they fucking got through the rule, right? We still don't know.
They removed the rule in time for them, so that's why.
Ah, well, fuck that rule.
In the end, they were
ready to abuse the rule.
Yeah, exactly. They were ready to abuse it, but they didn't have to because the rule got changed. So it's kind of like, yeah, they didn't.
I was
really
addition of Vertigo
anything.
twice.
because that's how bad it was. Okay. That's how bad it was. I don't know about anything else.
Let's do the...
What else? Major what?
Major coach rule.
Oh, major coach rule. But that's been going on for a long time, though. I don't think we can put that for like 2019 only. Was it abused only in 2019 though? Was the Cloud9 thing in the first major? Where was it?
I think the Face It major was when STYKO Golden.
Because Zelsis. Oh yeah, wait, because Zelsis was the one who had to be fixed somehow, right? He was switched out with somebody. So I think that the first. Okay, I guess then you can make it as.
I think it was the Face It major when they used Golden for the first time instead of a coach. Was it not?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Oh, due to major restrictions, Golden will be... No, I am Katowice. Okay. I'm reading Liquipedia now about it. I was looking through the changes. Yeah.
What about HLTV.org introducing sports mode? Yeah, that's a tragedy.
Interesting.
Right that's a tragedy.
I don't think I ever clicked that button. I read these forums with a passion.
There you go. We're three against one.
Another one.
We're 3 against 1.
These forums, they keep me going throughout the day. Like, I love fucking reading these degenerates or like typing like this.
Nice.
What is happening?
Because think about the world that we live in, where people
This is a good representation of the world.
Those people don't even make money from the video game, and that's the shit they're doing with their lives. How fucking bored are these dumb cunts? Anyway, that's.
I have a great one. I have a great one.
Okay.
Are you ready? SPUNJ dodging the live show 24 hours before it was supposed to happen.
That should have gone in with the best.
That was amazing.
Things.
That was amazing.
That's my
SPUNJ going on a tantrum on Twitter about HLTV and quitting everything.
Very unusual that I go on a tantrum on Twitter.
Yeah, sure.
So it's unusual that did happen.
I have one
like
roster move.
Okay.
North benching Valde.
Well, was that his decision?
He wanted to leave.
I'm guessing it was his decision in the end. So
In
I'm
the
not
public,
sure.
it's called benching though. So I just wanted to have that in there.
Sure.
Nah,
I can get behind the idea, but it seems like something that came from him, not the team. And obviously for him, it was an amazing idea to leave North. So
okay, we'll let it slide.
yeah, I'd wouldn't put that in there.
What's
Zeus's retirement? That's something that
That were not the worst things that happened. There's some of the best things that happened.
I mean, maybe like
I'm not sure about
from an emotional perspective, honestly. Like Gobby as well retiring, and
a lot of
all of these guys.
True.
What about?
But I don't see that as a bad thing. Like we need to have people going away so we can get new ones up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, especially Zeus. Somebody like Zeus should still like stick around and at least coach or something, right? He doesn't have to play, but he would definitely have a lot more. Even if he played like on a lower tier, I feel like having somebody like that bring up the next generation, why the fuck not? He was not that bad individually. Like he wasn't completely useless, you know. It's not like he was just not putting up any frags at all, like any of the bats. So I feel like he could have gone out a lot longer and just like try to bring up the next generation. Why not?
Were there any losses that were like unacceptable loss? Oh my god. Oh dear. I think it has to be
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You can keep the 16-0. You can keep that's fine, bro. I've been 16-0 twice. I don't give a fuck. I think mouz Sports beating G2 in the summit final.
Oh, okay. Look, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this back.
We can just put it under G2 blunders. Under one.
Honestly,
bomb defusal.
It's not a defense of G2, but I feel like the more I was thinking about it after we talked about it, I don't know, like two shows ago or something, I feel like it's not that bad because it's literally just one half that they fucked up. Like sure, horrible. They should have definitely won, but it's one half where they were as CT on train, where they were as GT on train where they fucked up, which I feel like okay, it's bad, but I wouldn't put it as like the worst thing to happen all year long.
I disagree with that. That's embarrassing, dude. That's like
sure.
They listen to a coach and a stand-in and their T-side train where they can literally just scrim one bomb side and they can like scrim inner and they could probably just win the round easily. It's that they like made it harder on themselves and got picked and that was just bad, dude. Like they didn't even like flash that well. Like that guy, the coach is getting like 2Ks and 3Ks with the op. Like I don't know what they're doing, dude. That was very questionable.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like one fuck up of a half. It's not the worst thing to happen all year.
Put yourself in the player's perspective for a second, Striker, and think about I would hazard a guess. Now, I don't take anything I say as gospel. This is just if I was in the minds of the G2 guys after the whole situation, Carrigan's gone now, the coach is there, your mentality probably shouldn't, but probably started to drift. And you probably started to make some more audacious calls or plays or doing things that maybe you wouldn't do if you weren't versing the coach who hasn't played a professional match of Counter-Strike in fucking God knows how long. The cunt didn't even have his own gear.
I agree with all this. I just don't think it's like a candidate for like a top 3 thing.
Well, we got
like the top 3 worst thing to happen.
What do we got? We got just about 5 minutes, right?
There's a couple of things in the chat. So one guy just says Cloud9 changes. We could just put Cloud9 as just Cloud9.
All of Cloud9. I was thinking about that at first, yeah. Because
Cloud9 definitely deserves
The list
there,
of changes
at
they
least in
made
contention.
all year is fucking insane. It's like worse than previous.
If we're gonna
season.
add Cloud9, then I think what we have to do is someone else has suggested we add North. I think that's another. If we're gonna be adding names of just fucking shitness of 2019, like
North won.
I don't give a fuck.
North got to the Europe Minor. They almost qualified for the next stage. They won one or two DreamHack Opens. Like,
They're just so underwhelming.
They are underwhelming. They are the definition of underwhelming.
One thing. Okay,
what do you say about this?
Overhyping
Valde as an in-game leader.
Yeah, that's what I was going to put too. Like, not overhyping, but just generally the decision for him to become the in-game leader, I feel like is definitely like a factor.
Was the MSL cutting this year?
I think it was.
No, that was after Face It. After the MVP thing.
Oh yeah,
but
he,
right.
Yeah, MVP, then Face It, then cut.
But it was after Cadian, but he took after Cadian, not after not after MSL. So that's what it is.
Okay.
That was last year. That was in May.
So someone also said DMCA Star Ladder Major. So I'll say overblowing the DMCA issue. Like, that was actually not as big as people made it. But look, everyone has their own opinions and interests and stuff like that. So I guess people do what they want to do. But that was not as big of a thing as people made. Like, everyone watched the major. It was nice. Good I mean, nice in some degrees. In some degrees, maybe not. But the DMCAing was not as big of an issue as people made it to be.
Were there any big bugs this year that were like detrimental to the game?
Well, the agents for a while, but they were never used on it competitively, so I feel like didn't really have any
glitch was always there.
What? Which glitch?
The smoke one, where people just sit in the center and then it dissipates and you'll see them faster.
Oh, okay, but that has been a long time.
I mean, that still exists, honestly. So
that's been in the game forever. So
yeah, that still
doesn't
exists.
really count as 2019.
I think that people like if anybody tries to spin the whole like skins thing in the game as a negative, they don't look at the broader picture and how the fact that Counter-Strike now has more players than it's ever had before, or whatever the fucking. So that right there, you've just got to. You got to think
that's also
about
a result of the free-to-play thing. But
like, if you're using that as context of the whole game, it's a good thing, right? How long we got left, Lucas? How many?
3 minutes.
All right, we're gonna start doing these in some kind of order. Prof, you want to take point on this?
Look, I think we can all kind of agree on the last bonus, right? None of us are pretty big fans.
That's number one.
I'm not sure about number one, but at least to be in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the economy.
I don't know if it's number one. I feel like addition of Vertigo should be one. That map's
I have
absolute trash.
I'm definitely up for that too.
I don't mind the addition of Vertigo, but I think what they like the treatment of Vertigo has not been ideal. So if we can change it a bit, I'm up for that.
I think that all the change. I think the map itself, the way it is now, or the way it was in the version before they went and did this version, I think that the map was okay. It just needed time to be played. I don't think it's as bad as people make it.
Honestly, the one with the hole in the wood was probably the best version. The one they have now, I feel like it's not good enough. Like, it's just really bad right now.
The instability of them constantly changing it and what that's kind of done to how the map seeped into the pool or not being played, I think is probably a negative for sure. And that's what we discussed last time around.
Yeah.
Someone said the crowd cheating. I also think that was another one that was overblown.
It's been happening here forever. I think people always kind of overblow that.
The ESL are already going to do a couple of the things I suggested to them at the next big event, so it should all be fine, you fucking cunts. Alright. What are we thinking?
We don't want to add the AUG meta. Like, overall, I think it was kind of bullshit. And I don't think it
did hurt.
I think that's fine. Add versatility to the game, and it overall made the game like feel a bit more fresher. I feel like it was fine.
I agree. I kind of liked the overall product of it. Just we had a little bit of a different year than we would have normally.
I want G2 to win something. Can we put them in our top 3?
How does that have to do anything with them winning something though?
The worst of 2019.
Yeah.
We can do G2 blunders, Cloud9, or ENCE removing Alexi B. I think those are the 3.
ENCE Alexi, honestly.
Yeah, ENCE Alexi.
If it's about teams, it has to be ENCE.
Okay, then we got that. 1, 2, 3. Are you putting on top? What do you think?
I'm kind of down for
I'd do the economy at number 1.
I was gonna do
that's
economy.
fine.
I'm gonna do economy, vertigo, and then LXC.
Okay.
I think
Fair
the Alexi one or the impact. That's yeah, I'm okay with that. All right,
Let's do that.
cool.
Seems
We
reasonable.
nailed it. We probably missed so much because, like, I didn't think of last year. I can hardly think of anything, man. Like,
Yeah, I have a hard time like picturing moments as well.
I thought about it beforehand a little bit, so I was a little bit prepared.
Nice.
all right, well, we're about to get to.
The guest is putting more work than anybody else.
I was thinking about it too, but at the
Look,
same time,
he's on vacation. We're working, like so.
True.
Well, we have something fun coming up for you, though, chat. So the viewers, they asked for it, they wanted it, they love it, and it's going to be you versus the Twitch chat. So run that bumper, Lucas.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the favorite part of the evening. We're going to be having some questions coming on through that you guys get to interactively answer through chat. Chat will be answering as well. We've got the ABCs. How many questions are we doing, Prof?
5 today. Just
5
making
today.
a blitz test.
Okay, so this one here, we're keeping it higher pace. So let's kick it off. Let's get this one underway. I'll read the questions out so all the viewers listening over the audio-only airwaves are able to keep up with what's going on here. Tell me when it started, Lucas, because for me, my brain's lagging, everything's lagging. I live in Malta. Everything, it takes a little bit longer. You know, there's no rush out here.
I mean, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, let's kick her off. Let's start this bad boy. So we have question number 1, ladies and gentlemen. How many organizations did Tarek represent at majors? A, 3, B, 4, or C, 5? It's a good chance for Chet here to show his knowledge of Tarek,
easy.
who he was coaching back in the CLG days.
Easy question.
We'll wait for the timer to end, and then you.
If I forgot someone, I'm gonna be
Did
pissed,
you
actually.
prepare? Did you prepare for this?
I've new questions, never seen before.
All right. What A, B, or C?
I went with C.
All right, and Twitch chat managed.
Wait
to
a
go
minute,
for
I fucked up.
B.
It's 4. Oh my god. Wait,
No,
it's
you're
5.
right. It was 5.
Wait, I was right.
What are the 5? What are the 5?
Wait, I fucked up. I counted EG as one of them, so I don't know. I don't know what the 5th one is. Oh, CLG. There you go. CLG, MIBR, Energy, Cloud9, Optic. There you go.
Easy
Dude, I
as
fucked
that.
up and I still got it. Let's go, dude.
And you're beating Twitch chat for once, so that's good.
I think this is the first time anybody has ever been in the lead against the Twitch chat.
Was that
You
best?
get in the lead at the beginning, and then they wreck you.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't
What
think
the
anybody did.
fuck is
Anybody
this?
did.
Scream played 8 majors. What was the best placing he managed? Top 8, top 4, or top 2? Fuck,
Oh
he played
my
8
god.
majors.
I know.
Holy fuck. I don't know this one really.
Just take a guess, mate. They apparently the monkeys with the typewriters.
It can't be.
and the-
It can't be C. It can't be C. Unless I'm crazy.
All right. Well,
Alright.
Seems like I can't get
This is a lot of
Twitch
pressure.
chat.
Holy fuck.
Oh, they crashed the bot.
the bot has crashed. Okay. Well, that's a problem right
But they-
there. Are we able to pause the
but we
quiz,
got a-
Lucas?
we got an
or what's
answer
the
in, though.
play? Yeah, they got top 4.
Yeah.
What was the
True.
correct answer? Oh, wow. Okay. So do we take a
nice.
hiatus while we fix the bot, Lucas? What do we need to do? Do you want me to juggle?
You can juggle on.
That was the first major, by the way. He
It was
literally
the
got
first major with
Yeah.
very games.
I almost thought he was part of that the G2 team that made top 4 in Cluj, but he was already in Titan at that time.
Yeah, he had a bunch of group stages later on.
I mean, all of those existence teams did group stages, so this was actually kind of tough. I wasn't entirely
classic-
sure.
What was the
classic
team
is-
called? I don't remember what the team was called.
What? Very
Wasn't
Games?
it-
Alright,
Client.
we back.
Actually, never mind.
Well, Very Games is the one he placed in the semis with.
I thought it was
And then
Clan
Titan.
Mystic, wasn't it? Or
He
was it
wasn't
not?
there. He didn't play there,
Okay.
as far as I remember. That was Kaylee. That was Kaylee and Apex who had played in Clan
Yeah.
Mystic.
Ken, yes, at some point. Happy at some.
Oh, yeah,
not,
true.
Not happy, I think. Not happy.
All right,
true
let's
about
get into
Do I have
question number 3
okay,
here.
never mind.
Which of these players didn't attend every major top 16 onwards? Was it A, Olafmeister, B, Zeus, or C, MBK? Which of these players didn't attend every major top 16 onwards? This one here.
Yeah, no main qualifiers, so that's the top 16 part. Main qualifiers don't count.
Fuck,
Chat
dude.
just really slow tonight, or is it must be the bot situation here?
Oh, okay. I just couldn't figure out why he didn't attend one.
Oh, he was benched, no?
Yeah, exactly. I just couldn't figure out
figured
which
if
one he
anyone
didn't
was, it might have
attend.
been him.
Okay, you both got this one. Fairly
Nice.
easy.
All right, question number 4. If you can keep this up, you're going to be the first one to beat Twitch chat. Who was the MVP of the second notable event of
fuck
2019 E-League Invitational? Was it A, Nico, B, Guardian, or C, Rain? Who was the MVP of the second notable event of 2019? I think there was only 4 teams at this event, right? The Big was there, FaZe was there.
Complexity and Cloud9, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty dog shit event.
Oh my god, I'm panic answering. I don't know this one. I might lose this time. Oh fuck. They know, they googled it. Oh my god. That's unfair.
Was that the last good event Guardian had?
That's not true.
I don't know. But he
But
had some like okay-ish ones.
That's what it's called. That's what the recency bias is, ladies and gentlemen.
Even I mean, even this one was kind of close with Nico, I think. So this is the last question. This decides everything.
All right,
Is it?
it all comes down to this. At the E-League 2018
Oh my.
Major, which FaZe player stayed alive after Stewie2K's B hold? Was
Dude, I
it
just
A,
watched
Carrigan,
this.
B, Nico, or C, Olafmeister?
Oh
That's a
my
good question,
god.
Prof. Man. I love you for this, man. This is
Dude,
so
what
hard.
kind of a nonsense question is this?
I think Twitch chat has it
panic.
right.
Yeah,
Oh!
even though.
And there it is.
Oh,
So it's
figured it
it's
has
a
to be
draw.
Nico or Kerrigan.
It's a draw. Well,
It is a draw.
Have we had a
let's-
draw before, or has everybody lost?
We had one with JW in the first
Oh, okay.
episode.
That's not bad at all. All right. Well, that's are you smarter than a HLTV.org forum user, I suppose.
guess not.
So they make sense that you don't mute the forums. You know, you're with the people. You're a man with the people. But we can keep this ball rolling. And we're going to be moving forward to the 2020 predictions. So we kind of touched on it a little bit. Well, we said we'd save it for this episode to be talking about bits and pieces going forward of what we can expect for this year. Now, we've got a couple of little subtopics here of major results. So I assume we're talking about Rio, half-year standings, and roster changes that we can probably look out for. I think maybe I wouldn't mind hearing from you, Chet, though. You probably have a better understanding than most on like how your calendar looks or how the events laid out and stuff. Do you think 2020 as a year is going to be a lot less chaotic for all the teams?
I don't think it's gonna be less chaotic, but I think this time around it's gonna be like it should have been of last year. That teams have to pace themselves better. So yeah, it looks just as hectic, honestly, except for maybe this first month, and then everything else is just a disaster. But I think
Is
you'll
it
just have
actually?
I mean, from what I've seen, if I look at my calendar right now, it
Yeah,
looks
but
pretty terrible.
what you need to keep in mind with when you look at your calendar is just because those weeks are like 3 weeks in a row. It could be talking about a bunch of events here. Your team will only be playing for one of those weeks, most likely, in certain situations, right? So, like, there's certain things haven't been announced for certain tournaments yet, so we can't go into too much detail
Yeah.
about bits and pieces. But
From my understanding, it's better than 2019. Like, I'm not disagreeing there, but I still think it's not where it should be still. But it's getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you think it should be though? Then, like, how should the year look for you?
I mean, ideally, there wouldn't be events back to back like there already is which is Blast London and Katowice. I think that's already a step in the wrong direction. I think there is space for at least one of these events to be moved in a different way. From what I'm looking at least. There could be other things I haven't seen, but I'm pretty sure I'm up to date on everything. I'm just scrolling through it right now, and yeah, I feel like some of these events don't need to be back to back.
I haven't looked at my calendars and shit in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But when I remember looking at it and what was pitched and proposed for a lot of the different stuff, it looks like there are still obviously going to be like this what you're talking about right now. I'm pretty sure this is just the group stages of the Blast thing, right? And then the group stage of the Blast thing goes in. So like, it's not like we're running the grand finals of ECS season 734 into the grand finals of ESL Pro League season, 9,000. It's like a group stage. Okay, you're in London, you've been there, and then you're going to just go to Poland. So even if you do play in that last group, you're still more acclimatized. You're not traveling across the world. Hopefully we can avoid, those bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I just think as well, though, because teams have to make a choice with Pro League or the North American League, for people at home who aren't aware, they have to make a choice this year. I'm pretty sure they're going to overlap, that it is going to force teams to, like you said, be more selective. And I think that's a big part of it as well. You know, not running ourselves through the ringer. All right. Let's get into the first one here. This is going to be the major results. So let's look at this from 2 big ways. Let's do, first of all, let's start with who do we think is going to win the next major based off of how we know things are now. So let's start there. Anyone want to put their hand up and throw some names?
Fucking Astralis. What else
on how
are you
things
gonna say?
are now?
Yeah, like what we know about Counter-Strike now. Like you obviously, like we haven't seen anybody play other than these qualifiers that are going on right now. There's been some online Counter-Strike in the last week. But we don't know too much. So where we left off the year, I feel like most of us would say Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, based off things that are right now, yeah, probably them. I mean, people don't improve. But yeah.
Do we want to throw...
It's impossible to predict anyone else to win the
yeah. I'm gonna go with Na'Vi here as a bold, stupid Anders-like prediction, where you just say shit, you don't actually give any reason for it, and then it probably comes true, and then you think, and then you're a genius. And then, if it doesn't come true, just don't say anything. So...
just let other people call you out that you're bullshit.
Yeah, and then they have to go and find it and do a voice clip, and they've got 6 followers on Twitter, so it's not getting any fucking traction anyway. So it's all good. I
kind of like this Na'Vi angle though.
If I was going to take a chance on anything, right? Like how bad can that, how can they underperform for so many more events? That's why I would go with Na'Vi, because the team should just work. It should work. Everything is in the right place. They have a good coach. You've got Simple and Electronic. Flamey's been playing a little bit more consistently off of the eye test.
It's pretty obvious on what it hinges on, though.
Yeah. And then you have to question how many bad events can he have in a row, and how.
We're talking about Guardian for those people
could
who
be an infinite
by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know what the major deadline is at this point. I don't know if it's known.
Has the rule book been announced?
No, I haven't seen it
so.
anywhere. I was looking for it because of something that somebody
I
asked
haven't
me,
seen it,
and I haven't seen it anywhere either. But let's say the deadline is probably when is the actual major in May, right? Mid-May or something.
May 16 or something,
yeah.
or 14.
So let's say
like
if things are as they used to be, probably by the end of February, the deadline is probably. I would assume.
That's the thing. There's no time to do a change. If people are taking breaks until the end of fucking this month, then they come in, they play one event. Oh, this is the first event after the break, so it doesn't matter if you do bad.
I mean,
you have a second event, and then you have to change. Otherwise, you're locked. So
look,
he's gonna stay.
If it's after Katowice, I'd say Na'Vi have enough time because they're gonna be at the Ice Challenge thing. Then they're gonna be at Katowice. Oh, between that, they're gonna be at Blast as well. So they're gonna have 3 events, 3 decent-ish events to see how Guardian performs. So if that deadline is after Katowice, I feel like they will have enough time to make a change. If it isn't, that's the problem. I don't think they will opt for it, even if they can. I feel like Katowice is probably going to be the deal breaker for Guardian. Up until then, if he doesn't improve until then, I feel like that's when Na'Vi will start realizing that's probably not a good idea to stick with him anymore.
It's still a very long lead time, right? Like you said, May. We have such a long lead time until the next major kicks off. So there's a lot of time to see with those teething issues. Do we think, at the moment, if teams on an outside chance, that's all we can really talk about, right? Like Astralis, if they're playing their best CS, they're winning. That's it. So maybe what we can do is we can look at the teams right now within, I don't know, the top.
Let's just imagine Astralis get upset like somewhere in the quarters or the semis. Which team would snake their way into the major title? That's kind of how I'm thinking.
I'm putting his head up.
I pick us. I feel like if
I
we're
kind
the
of like
team
that
that
angle too.
matches well against Astralis, I feel like we would beat them, and then that would be ours to lose. Like at that point.
And before fucking 100 Thieves beat them somewhere along the way.
No way. We
That's not
haven't
gonna
lost
happen,
100
I don't
Thieves in
think
a
so.
while. Like,
Oh,
Then you meet Mousesports in the final, and then Kerrigan gets his major.
That's where we
major.
that's where we break this streak, and then that's where we make history right there. I can see it now.
I feel like if I was gonna put like some like bullshit way to win a major, it would be Fnatic, surely. Like it would have to be Fnatic, right?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
Because I feel like they can have like these kind of periods where they can just beat everybody by like virtue of just bullshit. Like that's the as Vlad put it, the Fnatic bullshit. I feel like that's how they could win a major, honestly.
It's like Vitality, like even with Zaiwu, I don't see them winning a major. Like
Probably
they can
not,
win
no.
some of these tournaments where not all of the top teams show up because they can beat one of those top teams. They can like squeeze past some of these other like maybe like 5th to 8th teams, but they can't beat like Fnatic, Liquid, Mousesports, and Astralis in the same event. Like they can't do that. So whatever.
I'm gonna
depressing.
like
I agree with that.
just not to pick Astralis. I'm just gonna go with Fnatic.
We don't, because to say, I think without seeing Counter-Strike played by all these teams in 2020 yet, and we don't know, like teams are assuming are going to have a big downtime before they start practicing again, and all this kind of shit, right? We know there's some time. What if we look at it like this? Let's go out of the returning challenges, which is Mousesports, G2 Esports, Crazy, MIBR, FaZe Clan, and North. Who do we think is the most likely to bomb out there and not?
Pretty obvious, isn't it?
Well, for me, I know we could go with Crazy, but for me it's MIBR.
I'm at North.
Oh no, I still like
You think
I don't know.
You think it might be worse than North? I don't know. There's no way.
No. Think about it. It's not about that they're worse. It's the fact that the Brazilians have a major in Brazil.
Oh, but then that's why you think they're gonna bomb out?
Yeah, because like historically they don't succeed when they should on home soil, right? Like
I mean, that's 2 events. I feel like that's
it's 3 events, right?
3? What's the third one I'm missing? Sao Paulo, the Pro League, and
Oh yeah, you're right. What am I thinking of?
I think there's not a third event that was in Brazil. Not
there
unless
was.
you count
There
like
was.
DreamHack Open Rio.
There was a Blast one. There was the
Well,
Sao Paulo one with
yeah.
the Cloud9
Sao
one.
Paulo
And
was
there's
too.
Belo Horizonte.
Yeah.
Oh,
Horizonte.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. I forgot about that. You're right. 3.
It's not that I want MIBR to bomb out. It's just that I think with the way the stars align, that would be like
They never did badly at either of those events, have they?
no,
Like,
but they were meant to win the Pro League one. Like
That's true.
that Pro League one, they should have won. And
Yeah.
then the Belo Horizonte one, they got to play in the arena, but then they still like underperformed for where they were at the time.
Sure.
And-
But I mean,
and-
you were talking about like group stages that are played like that have almost nothing to do with where they're played. So it's like I feel like it's kind of a stretch.
It doesn't even matter about like there's expectation. There's a lot of
Sao
people
Paulo, they
around.
bombed out.
Like
They didn't win anything there. I can see that now. I'm just looking back.
let's say Astralis in Copenhagen for Blast. Like they played the first day in like a closed stadium, still lost everything. It's not about the people in the arena. It's like everything that's happening around
Sure, I get
for
it.
the team.
I get it.
I have a
I'd still-
question. I have a different angle. Which team do we think is going to make, like, do you think, I mean, there's always going to be one team that does some, like, crazy shit at a major, unexpected, like, Avantgarde or maybe, like, a Hard Legion or whatever those guys were called before they changed the
Leaders.
organization. Yeah, so there's always these teams that come in and do, like, unexpected shit. Do you have any name in your mind that could, like, do that this
Like that's
time?
not already confirmed to be the major or anyone.
Yeah, someone like from the minors qualifiers, or like let's say just looking at teams like Mad Lions, like Godsend.
Like saying OG is not crazy, or is it? I feel like
I
OG
guess
can
not.
make
I
a
don't
good
think
impact.
so.
Well,
You
that's
think OG
fine.
are good?
I feel like they can be good. Like I'm hoping they'll be good come May. Like by the time they go to the minors. They have a lot of good pieces. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that they can't be good with this lineup.
Yeah, but they're not a puzzle. They're like a fucking like Jenga.
I don't know. I have faith in them. Some odd reason. Maybe Gen G, like as an American going through the minor system. I
Okay.
can see Ben 10 being like
Oh,
locking them
complexity.
a little.
I'd throw complexity in there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's a
Kind
good
of
one
like
as well.
OG like a little bit, but sure.
I think like that's a name. Like I don't know how
But
dark.
do we
horsey-
know if they can play the American one though?
No,
I'm not sure.
we don't know.
We don't know, but it was the case in at Style Leader though, right? Like there was a chance for
Yeah.
people to apply to
Yeah,
like play in a
yeah.
different region.
Yeah.
But that's something that actually I got asked about, and that kind of prompted me to look for the rule book. Obviously, haven't found it. So yeah, that's the one thing I'm curious about. But yeah, we're getting off topic a little bit.
Just a tad.
No, but that's all right.
I'm writing all of this shit down, so just remember, like after the
Sure.
show, I'll post it, and you'll have to be like, you have to be responsible for the shit you say.
So
I'm
out
gonna
of all-
say,
Mhm.
obviously, God sent to make a good run at the major.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see
I don't know
that.
about that one.
I don't see that.
Okay.
Hey, look, you know,
No, it's your
when-
prediction.
We'll open the capsule in the future. Did you have one striker?
Did I say anybody? I don't remember actually. I was gonna say somebody. I actually know I was gonna say OG as well, but it's a little bit obvious. Complexity I like. I can get behind that too. I can't think of anybody else though. Like unless it's some like new CIS team that we haven't heard of properly. Like that's the problem with that region. Like you barely hear about anybody, and then they just come to a major or qualifier and just destroy people. Like our legion. Or
There are
Dream Eaters.
no teams of that caliber right
Well,
now.
to
To be
that's
honest,
what we
like
talk about. What the fuck
Dream
do you
Eaters,
think about
Dream
Dream
Eaters
Eaters?
were
Like-
so bad. Like they were so bad before the major. Honestly,
That's the thing. Like we could not have seen that coming. Like there was no way of like predicting Dream
They
Eaters to do
upset us.
anything. Yeah,
First
exactly.
round.
And then Vitality as well before that, or after that, I guess. After that, I think. It was you, Vitality, and then the
Yeah.
All right. What about the teams who? Nah, that angle doesn't even really fly here.
should we just talk about like roster changes and shit like
yeah.
that?
We should do. We
Yeah,
should move
let's
on
do
from the
that.
major. I think.
We
Who's
can
gonna
go
make
like the
them?
top teams. Who's gonna make like the first? Who's gonna move first out of like Astralis?
I mean, we can go top 10, right? I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Make roster changes. Who are
Yeah.
the most likely?
Who's good? Yeah.
I think I don't want to put Navi as the most obvious one, so I'm gonna go with Vitality.
Oh my
So,
god.
Let's go top down. So Australis, no. Mouse Sports. I don't think Mouse Sports is going to make a change between now and no. Or Liquid.
I don't see that
think
anytime soon.
so. Here's what happens. I think that Liquid and EG wouldn't do it before the major, but if both teams don't like live up to all the hype by then fucking Naf's hanging out with Chet in the lobby, and you know he's good friends.
the
and
hell?
He's the same kind of like personality type as like Breeze and stuff. So Naf's sliding over there to EG, and you know I can see like a little intermingling happening between the Liquids and EGs of the world if shit doesn't line up as
Look,
it should.
I can see somebody definitely from EG at least getting poached, and that's gonna like cascade into more stuff, right? So I can see that angle for
People
sure.
are reading into the NAF situation here. What the fuck?
You know,
Nah.
hanging out. You never
Just
know.
friends. Just friends.
Like laughing with Cirque after games. I saw that happen. I saw that.
It's so obvious.
Obvious. They're obviously
Yeah.
plotting something. But no, didn't you say you had like massive buyouts? Was that a thing?
Us?
Yeah.
Did I say that publicly?
I think on your stream like the other day I said literally what SPUNJ just said, and you're like, no, it's not gonna happen. We have
I probably
we're,
said
like,
something like we're
locked
locked
in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
I'm gonna
something
say.
like that.
I don't have to say anything with a number.
Oh,
But
of course. Of course
Everyone's
you're not gonna say a
buyouts
number.
are massive, ladies and gentlemen, because all the orgs they want to keep their players, so everyone's out. You know,
Protect the
this-
investment, you know?
Yeah.
I think the two most likely are Vitality and Navi from my perspective.
Yeah.
From
going
Vitality's
with
side, I
that.
feel like just the longevity of shocks is one. And also another one is like when they realize that this team might not be able to like get consistent trophies consistently, somebody's just gonna go out at some point.
What about
Things like, who do they even get? I don't even want to get into that, but
Yeah, I don't want to get into that either. But I think they are the most likely, along with Navi and Nip, I guess, because we already know that they are making a change. But you know,
yeah, that's
cheating.
So.
But that's cheating, yeah. But I feel like they will anyway. Like, look, even beyond this minus Horus plus Nog, I feel like Twist is just gonna go out like maybe in months after that, after the major or something. So that's how I'm viewing these at least.
what about Ents?
Oh, I don't know who.
That's hard as yeah, it's hard, man.
Bruh.
I mean,
Ents is easy.
OG were looking into who were they looking into in Finland?
Jumpy.
Jampy?
No,
Or
but
whatever.
another guy, Opper.
Otto?
Zori was it?
No.
I think
They were
might have
looking
been
into Zori?
I think
he
that's
just
what I
leaked
heard.
something.
No, that's what I saw even somewhere, and definitely didn't leak anything.
Zori is
But-
like 20, 25, 26 year.
yeah, I know,
years
but I mean,
old.
if you want to go into somebody, I guess that's it.
Like Otto is
I
pretty
never heard
good,
about
even
that.
though
Yeah, Otto's good. Zen's good.
But they have it like they're not going to change Alu for an Opera unless he's going to change like swap to a different role, which is I guess possible, but maybe I don't really see that happening honestly. I think Alu's not the problem on the up.
What about FaZe? You see FaZe doing a roster change?
definitely. I mean, they're not.
I don't know.
They're really lenient in changing people. So from that perspective, I don't think it's going to happen.
Before
But
I
they
looked
probably
at it,
should.
Before I looked at the team and I was like, the only two members who I think that had to keep before, this is before Cold Zero came in, was Nico and Rain. But now you have to keep Nico and Cold Zero and then probably Rain. So like, there's still room for roster changes, but you're running out of names you can just be throwing out.
Yeah.
Is that organization not willing to spend that much money though? So,
I think they're tight.
I feel like
belt,
they
yeah.
The thing is, like, after they got Cold Zero, that's another whatever it was. I don't know how much it was even, but it was probably quite a lot of money. Let's put it that way. So after that bombed out as well, I feel like that's going to be a problem to get FaZe to buy out somebody really good. So unless they find some like newer talent that isn't locked behind a massive buyout, it's probably
they're
not going to
trade as
happen.
well.
Oh yeah, they could trade somebody, I guess, but yeah.
I don't know.
That's-
That one's tough.
Yeah, I think like without buyouts, I think it's very likely. But yeah, I'm not sure like who they would look into.
I think
Alright.
going lower than that doesn't even make sense, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you because at that point, they were obviously expecting roster changes, people to start getting into the top. Now, I think what we could do as well, like with 2020 predictions, do we think a map is going in or out?
What's the longest we've had a map in? Do we know? I can't really.
Like,
I don't know. I don't think any map's changing. No way.
Get Mirage. The
What
fuck
about
out
Mirage?
of here.
I think
reckon
it
I think
hasn't been
Mirage
changed
is
in a long
already
time.
being updated as of some information, which I don't remember what it was, from somewhere. I think
That's
it's
very
getting
vague.
like a.
I think it's likely that it's Mirage if it's any map that's getting changed.
But I
because
don't think
the
it's even
lo-
going to
longest
go
one.
out. I think they're just going to update the map and put the new one in.
Oh, okay,
That's
that's
it.
possible. I mean,
Like, what would they add?
I don't see Cobble getting
Cache.
back in because they haven't really updated that much, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they would add a map that doesn't belong to them.
Oh, Cache,
again,
right? Yeah. I
Why
don't
would they
know.
add a
Why,
map?
why would they have it there in the first place though for such a long time? And they still updated like from their side as well. It's not just FM Pwn. Like it goes.
I mean,
through Valve
it
as well.
is also in the matchmaking pool, like among
Yeah,
those
exactly.
competitive, whatever it's called. I don't know how it's called, but it's there. I think it is going to come in sooner or later, and it's just probably going to be, hopefully, like a train that goes out or something like that.
I wonder if it's at all possible that they will give up on Vertigo.
I don't think
I mean,
I
at
feel
this
like
point, I
we
wouldn't
haven't
mind.
seen it.
Like,
we haven't seen
they-
so far like any of that happening. Obviously, like every map that got reworked, or just even entered the pool in the first place, like Cobble Overpass, was removed shortly after. We haven't had that happening, obviously, but I feel like this case is a little bit different. Like with how vastly different the maps have been, like the different versions, it just looks to me that they're not even sure what to do with the maps anymore. They're like trying different kinds of stuff and are just not finding the right answers. So I feel like it's kind of possible that Vertigo could actually go out if Valve just didn't realize that they just don't know what to do to fix the map completely.
All right, so Striker thinks that Vertigo could go out.
Yeah.
Chet thinks nothing's going to change. I think that it's just going to be as simple as Mirage goes out, Cage goes in. What do you got, Prof? Any opinion?
I'm kind of leaning towards Train, maybe more hopeful thinking than anything else, but I don't think Mirage is going out.
Okay. Let's do this one as well then, while we're on the topic of having to just pick blindly. What is the next overpowered or next like org meta, or like what does anyone see any of those things coming into fruition? Is there going to be the fucking the auto sniper meta or some shit?
The P90 meta.
Let's not go back there. That's where we were when the game started.
Unless something's going to change.
Meta.
Unless something's going to get updated, I don't think that anything like this is going to happen.
The Negev is actually like super cheap. In theory, it could be used.
I feel like there's a place for it somewhere, like Banana.
But isn't there like a gentleman's agreement about not using the Negev ever since it got made this cheap?
I think that was
no way.
That was originally, but then people like
maybe people have just like forgotten about it or something. Or just like haven't really used it because they didn't think it was bad. But I think at first when it actually got made cheaper, like this much cheaper, people just had a gentleman's agreement that it was just not.
Yeah, people thought it was going to ruin the game, but it didn't. So,
well, nobody ever tried it properly, so I'm guessing like they haven't actually realized why.
I mean, they probably tried it in matchmaking. It got wrecked by Gold Nova, so they said like, okay, fine.
I don't know, man. I feel like they just didn't give a shit. Like, you know how long it took for like an SG and AUG.
Let's aim this conversation. Let's aim this conversation a little bit more to where we are at the moment. Do we think that the FAMAS and Galil will have the same impact on the game as what the updates to the org and the SG had?
No way, because they're not the best guns in the game. They're not going to be the best guns in game, so they're definitely not going to have the same effect.
I don't think so. It's just going to make the buys like a lot harder. Like they're just going to be more prominent, like because they're just cheaper.
Yeah.
You think that'll make us hit a point though where like Force buys, like we're just seeing so many more rounds where it is just like Galils and FAMASes, or do you think it's just going to be more spread and people will be able to substitute across the board a little bit easier? When that guy's left with 3.4, you can still buy.
I think it's the second that you said. It's just gonna be more spread. It's more options for people to use. It's not like gonna be defining anything.
All right. Do we think they'll change the economy again, or do you think we're set on this for a while?
I feel like they will stay with this. I feel like they'll stay with this for a while. It's been too long. It's been this way for too long for them to change it again. Like I feel like they've set on this change.
Next thing that could be fucked up by Valve is the shotguns, because that is something they've been trying to make more viable for like a year almost now. They took down the prices on some guns, then they like did the spread update and stuff like that. People are still like using it more or less the same as it did like 5 years ago. So I think they might push that more and then maybe make it overpowered at one point. Like that's the only thing that can become overpowered, I feel like, now at this point.
Okay, and what about, like, we've only got a couple minutes left on this, would go from more of like a community based angle? Do we think that there will be any other big updates in 2020? Obviously we've just had the skins and all that kind of stuff. Do we see anything from that kind of an angle, like a new game mode or anything like that?
I could see some sort of team related, like different team related skins and like whatever, knives and gloves or whatever with logos and stuff. I feel like that's the next step.
Some kind of integration with the teams. Yeah, I can see that as well. Anything esports related.
I mean, hopefully something for the major, something more esports related, as you say. Make the major a bit, just like add something new, some novelty past the pick'em challenge that we had for like 5 years.
Okay. So it's a bit difficult, obviously, to try and see into the future here as our clock ticks on down. We're going to be moving, once the bomb goes off, into a funnier, more light-hearted segment. I think that's probably about it with what we know at the moment for 2020. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Now we're going to move forward to the rebrands. I got to wait for this fucking thing to finish, don't we? Everyone just say.
I mean, we can just move. We can just move.
Nice. I didn't realize we could stop it. That's fucking great. Anyway,
neither the G2 lol. Okay,
so we're going to be moving into a hot topic at the moment. I don't know if everyone saw North's most recent.
Yeah, literally everybody, all of fucking esports has seen that, man.
Now, I think what we should first of all talk about is why a rebrand can be important. There's a lot of good things that can come from a rebrand, refreshing your look, obviously selling some more merchandise with different logos on it. Also very important, guys. But there's a lot of reasons that teams go about doing this. Now, we wanted to take more of a funnier angle on this. So I don't know, do we have the document of? I can't see the fucking screen. Do we have the document available, Lucas? Take a look at some of the other rebrands.
The same one
We
that
will
had
be. We
before.
will be. We have it.
Oh, shit.
Talking about North, they just lost to Mad Lions, 16-8, 16-4.
What did I tell you, chat? We were talking about this. I said Mad Lions are gonna win.
16-8, 16-4. I'm just repeating.
That's
They
holy
got
shit.
12 rounds.
They
on
got
two
12 rounds
maps.
on 2 maps. That's sick.
So let's go through these rebrands. This is the first one we have here, Lucas? The North one?
I just started on the North one.
That's fine. That's fine. We can start on North. So this is the most recent one. Now, I don't know why they've made their new one look like it was dropped on its head several times at birth, when the old one looks sick. Like, it looks great. Now, somebody I saw actually got linked to me earlier. Someone had come up with, let's see if I can find it actually, but they had done a tweet where they fixed their logo. Now I understand they want to be all like the Vikings and all that kind of shit, but even the lettering, I saw you pointed out, Prof, it didn't even look like the correct letter. Like what's going on?
Yeah, this H. Why is this H like so
Yeah, that H is
wrecked?
fucked.
It's probably the T.
Why is it-
It's
why is
probably
it
the
fucked,
T that,
man?
that's an arrow. I can understand it's probably pointing to the north or whatever. I get it, but it looks so bad. Like, it looks so out of place that it's an arrow.
Look, as SPUNJ said, there are reasons why people do rebrands, and like this North one is an obvious example of we want to show that we changed stuff and we're not the same organization. We did like changes, we implemented a new system of coaching or whatever, and now we need a new start because all of this that happened up till this point is pretty much shit, and we're gonna rebrand, and people just remember like from this point onwards. People are going to forget the old stuff, and it's going to be like a new identity. And in theory, that shit kind of works, even though it sounds ridiculous. But okay. The problem I have, even like aside from this like logo looking ridiculous, they did like the wrong thing. They rebranded into a more Scandinavian organization, and they said they want to be the best Scandinavian organization. They play CS, where Astralis exists, that has been dominated for the last 3 years, literally monopolized the whole Danish fan base, and by an extent, a good part of the fucking Scandinavian fan base. So what the fuck are you actually trying to accomplish? Like, why are you doing this? Why
Where did
not just
where
go?
did that last? I'm sorry, man. Where did that last picture come from? Is that like some fixed logo or what is that?
No, I linked it to Lucas. There's a Twitter that someone had actually done it up. They had said, "I'm not a graphic designer, but I couldn't resist taking a shot at fixing the North is here logo. Mine is on the
Looks
right."
a lot better actually.
Yeah, and this was by at @J_Massad. That's MASSAAD. On Twitter, he tweeted that one out there to the world, and that one there looks a million
Solid.
times
Honestly, a lot
better.
better. Yeah. Look, I was gonna ask,
actually.
I was gonna ask, what the fuck is that animal anyway? Like, the only thing that has 2 horns like that is a rhino, and
They
obviously,
say
like,
it's a dragon. They say
oh,
it's a
it's
dragon.
supposed to be a
dragon?
Okay. Oh, yeah,
about
I
that
guess
one?
fair enough.
It's like
I don't know, man.
like a Nordic
Nordic
style
dragon.
Yeah,
Okay.
something. I don't know.
Fucked up dragon.
Inventing new creatures. Let's go.
I know. I think it like exists as a thing, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit like the thing is they've had to run this through people, and people have looked at this and they've gone,
Yeah, nice.
yeah, that looks good, and that's the problem is that people who are getting like these things will grow on us after time. We won't care so much, but it's when you do it and it's significantly worse than what you had before. Like, what the fuck? All right, so let's run through some of these other ones. Let's bring up the VP one so we can show the viewers at home.
God.
The VP one here.
Look, we're gonna get to you later, Chet.
I know,
Don't worry
but-
about it.
Better that you do it last or something.
Chet is sweating like I don't want to get fired. Like, just got a new org. Finally getting some money.
Let's do the
The
energy
VP
one.
one. Let's do VP one first. Yeah, that's pretty sensible.
Did we get it on screen? Because this is
No, not
delayed
yet.
on my
I don't know.
side.
We
got it on screen.
We're a little bit. Oh, okay.
Just have to give it a couple minutes.
Honestly,
like 2 hours.
honestly, the old Virtus Pro logo, I was not sure for a pretty long time what was on it. I thought it was like some like a I don't know, like a ferret thing or something. Honestly, I didn't even think it was a bear.
It looks literally the
I
same
did not
as
think
now,
it was a
though.
bear initially.
And
Do
now
we
you're
think-
fine with it, or what?
Now I think it looks like a bear, so I'm fine with this. I mean, it's
okay.
kind of, I'm completely fine with
I
this.
feel like it's literally the same animal. It looks pretty much the same, except its eyes are actually orange as well. So it's like literally nothing has changed.
Yeah, I don't have too much against this.
Now,
This
so-
is like a good example. It has like a V thing in the background. Like it's like okay, it's okay. Like people
makes-
shat on this as
it
well.
makes sense.
I remember when Vegas Squadron made like their version of this, like a cute little shark. That was amazing.
What else we got here? Let's go to the complexity one. Now, for those who don't remember, I didn't.
Controversial.
Now the
Controversial, but
complexity
makes
one,
sense.
I didn't like the newer red complexity logo anyway, right? Because that wasn't
Yeah.
the original complexity logo. And I didn't like the newer version. It looked like, you know how you go on, like you search and it's just like stock images? Like that's what it looked like. It just now I'm not saying the new one doesn't necessarily look, it's a fucking star, but at least the new one, you have to understand where that's coming from. The new one is they are owned by the Dallas motherfucking Cowboys. Like, if they want the logo to be a star, you're gonna make the logo a fucking star. Like I think here this like it when I look at the two of them now in times past, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't give a fuck.
I think the only negative aspect is like losing the red color, which is pretty iconic for complexity. Like the logo, this one that we have now, the red one, looks like literally like Head and Shoulders but red. It's awful. Honestly, it was always awful. But it's more about losing the red color. Which I understand. Like I did not understand until I went to Dallas for ECS, and then I landed, and then like literally saw complexity jerseys everywhere, and then I realized it's not complexity, it's Dallas Cowboys, and it's literally fucking everywhere. Like people with jerseys in bars and like on cars. It's a massive thing. So then I understand why they want to make it like very similar to this to then engage like a bigger fan base and have it all kind of be homogenous or something. So in the end, not that bad. Still not impressive.
I don't really like the blue either. Like I feel like literally every NA team is just dark blue or some shade of blue. Like everyone's pretty much the same color. There needs to be some kind of variety.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit, but not that much.
Like in general, all rebrands are now like, oh, let's rebrand to black and white, or like not black but like almost black, bluish black, greenish.
Like if you
black.
weren't blue to begin with, then just don't even bother. I feel like just stick with what you have.
I mean, this
Blue is
obviously
taken.
makes sense from the Dallas Cowboys perspective. It's kind of hard to argue against that, honestly.
I don't
Alright.
understand why, but it's okay.
Let's bring up the Valiance/Crazy one. Does anyone know the backstory? Because was it the same ownership? They just decided to change the team name.
Just a
Yeah.
crazy CEO.
So
I didn't mean that as a pun.
no, but was like the old one. So for those of you who don't have it up on screen, those of you who are listening to the audio, the old one to me looked like a
factory.
Well, it's a tier.
yeah, and that's what it was. It was a factory, right?
Yeah,
Well,
it was
they
a
called it
factory.
a tier like player. What was it exactly? Do you remember?
Tier 1 talent factory.
Oh, there you
that
go.
was their official hashtag. It was a pretty long one.
So
Tier
they're
1 talent
they're
factory.
not paying anyone to do any branding or PR or anything like that. That's
No, I think they're doing it like
they're
kind
doing
of
it themselves.
I don't.
So
I don't
then
understand
they also
the-
kind of changed stuff in their organization, and then they did the rebrand, but not like massively. But they want to be like a more sexy zoomer thing, you know. The Valiance thing was kind of boomer. It's like black and white.
Jesus, what are you saying?
This shit. It just looks like a road sign. So like boomers driving cars, they understand this. And then there's the crazy thing, which is like nothing. But that's
change the logo. The name Valiance is sick, right? The name Valiance, the definition in the Oxford Dictionary is great courage or determination. If there's a team name, right? We've got dumb team names out there like Ninjas in Pajamas. And like, you know, we got shit like that. It doesn't make any sense. This Valiance, great courage or determination. I get fucking behind that. But they've gone a crazy. What?
I don't understand the shape of
the
the
4.
logo either. Because that's
It's like-
supposed to be the 4, like the.
I think it's
that's
kind of
like a mirrored
supposed to be
4.
the 4 as well.
Yeah,
I
it looks
don't
like a 4.
Looks like a weird, yeah.
Not
whatever.
not one of the best ones. I mean, we kind of
Looks like-
I don't care
as
with this.
Looks like Switzerland
Yeah.
has a copyrighted infringement issue.
I don't know. Their jerseys
It's
look
like-
sick though. I like the crazy jerseys. They
Yeah.
did something good there.
No, I like the jerseys too. Yeah, that's true actually. Like there's kind of like a. I didn't think at first. I thought it was like literally crazy. I thought they were insane, but then I kind of warmed up to it too. Yeah.
All right, let's
Not a
keep
big
this
fan of
moving.
this one.
Let's move on to the heroic one. There's obviously a lot changed within the heroic logo, and I think when you look at the three of these together, you know, you can clearly see like the vibe. Like it's all about the helmet, right? Like that's what the helmet is, and they're going to throwback to, or they're either bringing mythical elements in, or they're doing throwback to like medieval war times, and that's kind of
Heroic.
their
I
vibe.
get that. That's nice.
So, do we think that, like this one here, you can see the kind of the new
The
logo?
problem is like all three are
The
kind of
green-
shit, honestly.
No, the green
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I like the middle one a lot.
middle one. Like the what the fuck?
Yeah, that one looks sick. Like,
I
you
hate
know,
that-
like
I
a
hate
CS
that
sticker,
one
I
the
feel like that's
most.
sick.
The top left one is
the
shit
most.
because it's like too much shit going on. It
Yeah.
looks like someone, like you go on Fiverr, you ask for like a logo, like a esports logo, you get this on Fiverr for $5 from an Indian guy that does like Photoshop. Then the one in the middle is obviously like made to kind of be printable
You do
and stuff
realize
like
we
that.
have an Indian here, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like people on
It's fine,
Fiverr,
it's
like
fine.
people from India working like cheap stuff because they have like lower costs of living, and then they can be very competitive with their pricing, or at least people say that. I don't know.
Oh my god!
Look, I feel like with
Why is
a
this
little
a
bit
thing?
of work,
Why are you attacking me now?
with a little bit of work, because I saw Chet's response. It was kind
I
of
was looking-
laugh.
I was surprised.
I
I was
was-
like, should at least say something differently. like,
Yeah,
fuck
exactly.
me.
Look,
Look, I don't see
top
people
right one-
as being from one place or another. Like you're all just
you don't
humans
see
to me.
color-
So
you
I
don't
didn't
see
even
color
think
out.
about you being from India.
I kind of like the top right one with a little bit of work. I feel like with just slight adjust. I don't know what, but with just slight adjustments that would make it not look like a 2000 early 2000 logo. I feel like that would be okay.
But this is also a thing that happened because they changed ownership between the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
and the third logo. That's why they changed all of the colors and shit.
I definitely dislike the red helmet, the green, just the simple green helmet one the most. I feel like it's so black, nothing. I don't understand.
I like
Alright,
it's
well-
simple and clean.
If we want to go to one that looks like they did just get it ripped off from somebody from a country where they do things cheaper than other countries, let's go to the NRG logo.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Oh, NRG?
I can comment on this one.
Yeah, comment on the NRG logo, chat. How does this make you feel?
I saw this
Oh.
like almost a year before it came out, and
Oh my
I thought,
god!
and it was exactly the same. We gave our feedback, and it was exactly the same.
But
I couldn't
okay.
believe they released like this. I was shocked.
Oh, so the feedback was not good, I imagine.
Well, like they didn't. I guess the feedback wasn't considered or something. I don't know.
I think it's like this is not even the only logo because they
the
have
fact
that
yeah.
black and white one as well.
Oh yeah.
Like the silver.
Well, the black and white one was a response to the rainbow one being so horrible. Like that's the only reason it was there. Like I think on HLTV it changed like 3 times
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had released or something. Like something ridiculous like that. Like I don't know. This was horrible. Like I have
Well,
so many.
in part that was also because of the energy logo not really showing properly in the night mode, I think. But still,
Yeah, I mean I don't know. This one was the one I disliked the most. Like
But this is also a classic rebrand from like you have a unique color and thing like NRG as a brand also kind of like didn't really vibe with anyone. I feel like at least in CS, but at least they had their own like color scheme and stuff. And then they were like the red pink stuff. Then they rebranded black and white, and some like rainbow colors. Like
I didn't like the
Wow.
jerseys that you had either. It was just like,
everything
so
was super
blah.
bad. Everything was super
I-
bad
I
after the
agree.
rebrand.
I agree.
All right, let's get to this last one.
Oof.
That was
plead
The
the
Evil
fifth.
Geniuses one. Yeah, I was gonna say you can plead the fifth of this one here because I'll go to bat for it because as someone who watched 1.6, played 1.6, knew EG from those days, I don't give a fuck that this is different. Like for me, it's a question of is it better or worse? Meh. I don't think it's better or worse. I don't think
I
it's,
actually
I don't
agree
think it's
with
either. I don't. I think that like I think that this one got overblown considerably. Whereas like okay, so you don't have the chevron anymore. Okay, cool. But like, wasn't that only a big thing in Dota when your Dota team was good, which they're now not? So like, your Counter-Strike team is good. They're gonna do some sick things in 2020 with that new logo, which yeah, I don't hate it.
I wonder how much damage control that was as well. Like the the fact that they brought up that the round logo is actually not going away, they're just reworking it. I feel like that was
absolutely damage control. Absolutely was not
damage
planned.
control for me.
Absolutely was not
But look,
planned.
I'm actually not against this logo. Like, sure, I get like the history part of it, going away from the round thing, which was obviously quite original because everybody was kind of like had like similar styles of logos. This was a little bit different. Not that many people go for like a round buckler type of stuff. I don't know what do you call it? Whatever. But I get that. I get all that. But I feel like the new logo isn't that bad. Obviously, it's simple, but it's whatever.
I'll just say that like a lot of people that I know, just like casual or semi-casual CS fans, were pretty excited because of just like EG coming back and the logo and the color and everything. So I think from that perspective, it's kind of bad that they kind of dropped it and went to like some darker colors and stuff like that. But I actually think like this new logo as a textual logo is pretty sick. It really
Use my
has this,
overtime, Lucas.
Are we using? Aren't we done with this?
No, we gotta rank them.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay,
There it is.
let's go.
Greg,
All right, let's do
Rank
this.
from,
We're
like,
gonna
what?
go from the one that is the most acceptable change to the one that we think, what the fuck are they doing? So I think that the VP one we all thought was pretty fine.
most acceptable. Yeah, I would say that
Yeah.
for sure.
And then what? The
Like
EG
depends on what angle you take. I guess complexity acceptability wise, I feel like was the second one, just because of they kind of had to, right? They just came with the change of ownership and like with everything. So like from considering everything and not just like how it actually looks, I feel like was like the most acceptable, just because they kind of had to.
I don't know if it's
also
acceptable.
the old
It's
logo
like
was shit, so-
it was just forced on you, and you just got used
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. Like,
didn't
so
accept
obviously, like
anything.
they couldn't have really done anything about
I
it.
mean,
so
we
feel like
can't
it was
really
okay.
know what could or could not have been done in all of these cases. So that's kind of
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I mean, I feel like that was acceptable, just also because the complexity of the logo was just shit from the beginning anyway. So
So you want to go with complexity first?
No, we said VP first, no?
Oh, okay.
VP
I feel like that
first as yep. Then we'll
First
go
Pro,
complexity.
then complexity.
Then EG.
I'd put EG next, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Nice. Top 3. Let's go.
It gets hard from that point. I mean, North is definitely last, right?
I don't know
Yeah.
if they're definitely last, are they?
I mean, Energy and North, I think, are competing for last.
The energy one is god awful. I don't
I
know.
think like
I actually might
Heroic?
put Energy.
To be honest,
below.
like NRG didn't even have a purpose of the rebrand.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. If it had, it wasn't like communicated to me. So the point of the rebrand failed, in my eyes. So maybe not NRG. Why am I putting NRG here? EG.
Yeah, no. First Energy, second, first VP, second complexity, right? Third EG.
Yeah.
I feel like fourth, I'd say
Heroic?
either Heroic or Crazy. I'm not sure. I guess
I don't
Heroic.
know.
I
Yeah,
guess
Heroic's
Heroic.
done it well, I feel like.
Heroic's done it okay. It just looks.
Break
a
is
little
like
bit
the
outdated.
least, like pretty neutral, not bad, not good.
I feel like it's also because like they didn't really have a massive fan base, so it's like it didn't really. Yeah, it doesn't really affect that many people. So I feel like from that point of view,
Jesus.
that's well, it's kind of acceptable. Like compared to okay, let's say outside of Crazy, compared to all these other brands, like they have
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
the fewest.
you're not wrong, you're just telling how it is.
Oh, so it's down to the worst one.
Let's
NRG or North.
let's do NRG as 6 and let's do North as 7 so they can win something in 2020. I think that's probably the fairest way
what is this
to
theme,
do it.
by the way?
Huh?
What is this theme? First G2, now this. Why are you?
I'm trying to be charitable. I'm trying to. You saw
Okay.
my tweet. I'm rebranding for 2020. I'm trying to be nice to the community. So
Oh,
yeah,
Bad
that's
Churchill.
that's our list right
Outside,
there.
no, rather from Bad Churchill.
And we're moving on. Lucas, hit it. We're going to playtime. All right, guys. So we've got a little bit of time here. Well, we're actually over, but we'll talk for a little bit longer right now. We'll just go over some of the last things that have been happening. So we'll focus on the top 20 so far. If you guys have missed it, the top 20 from HLTV.org. It's one of the most anticipated things at the start of every year, where players of the previous year are looked at and ranked from 20th to 1st by the all knowledgeable oracle of Counter-Strike, Mr. Peter from HLTV.org, and he has his little minions running around helping him occasionally. Striker does some stuff too, so Prof writes an article. They put some words on paper, they put some pictures there, and they do some formatting, and this is what you get. So the top 20 now
seems like an attack on my work. Like, it's not that simple.
Yeah,
like we do interviews as well. It just takes to make.
It is actually a lie. Like, I never write on paper. So
there you go.
Please apologize.
See, so I was wrong there as well. But are there, any surprises for anybody so far?
Maybe the Sergey one.
Personally, yeah, I was gonna say Sergey. I would have maybe expected a little bit lower, but then when I looked a little bit into what was like the reasoning and stuff, it makes sense to me.
Like when you say lower, is like lower number,
like
or
maybe like 16 or something.
Okay.
I expected him like around the 15, 16 mark somewhere.
I thought Ethan would have been higher, but he had that really, really dry patch for a while there that I seem to always forget about. So
that's the thing. Like, people forget about the bad parts. You only remember the good parts. So that's why it's very hard to do these lists until you actually look at the numbers and look a bit deeper into the numbers. And it's just so easy to forget. Like, a lot of people are complaining about like Dupree because Dupree's last 4 events were pretty good. And like, oh, why is he only 16th? But when you look at it, like, when I messaged him, he was literally like, I'm super happy because I didn't even think, until the last couple of events, I didn't even think I'd make the top 20. So that's a guy that played those games. So I don't know. Like, obviously people have their own opinions.
He wouldn't have actually, like, if he didn't have that MVP at the end and like a couple of
events. I think it's same for none of the mousesports guys were announced yet, but I think they will make it. I don't know either. But Robs and Woxy didn't have a lot of like playoff games and like deep runs overall. So without these last couple of events that they won, I don't know if they'd make, or if they made it, they would be like very, very like.
And Woxy and Robs definitely made it, but it's probably at least Woxy's probably going to be close though.
I'm saying
that without knowing what the next names are. So
let's use this time right now to see if we can work out the players that we think are going to be from 12 to 1.
Look, I'm going to say one thing. KSCERATO is not in there. Like, I have seen so many people say, oh, where's KSCERATO? He has to be next. He's not in there. He hasn't played enough games on the top level.
Okay.
Well, you're just going to do the Brazilians like that. You're just going to do them in like that.
I've just seen, like, that's the biggest name that I've seen, like, thrown out all the time that I know cannot be in there.
But you're not sure, though.
I mean, obviously, I'm not sure, but he's not in there.
Do we think Glaive? Obviously, Magisk and Device are making it. Is Glaive making it?
I don't think so.
No way.
They had a pretty rough year.
So if we say,
if you want to start from the top, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be Ziwu, Device, and Simple are gonna be there, and Elige, and Magisk, Electronic, Breezy,
Naf,
Twist.
Yeah.
And then Nico is probably going to be there, Robs and Woxic. Those are the names that make sense, but...
Do you name all 12?
I think that's it, yeah. Like,
let me just go over. I wrote them down as you said. Magisk, Device, Ziwu, Simple, Elige, Electronic, Breeze, Naf, Twist, Robs, Woxic, Nico.
How many names is that? I wasn't...
I have no idea.
That's 12. That's 12.
Okay, there you go.
That, like,
let me tell you,
anyone
KSCERATO didn't make it above any of them.
Yeah, make a case for KSCERATO being better than these guys. It's very, like, extremely hard.
Not without looking at how much he played. He just didn't play as much.
So yeah, I don't know. It was kind of surprising to see maybe Crims. Like, that's a guy that was kind of like, I'm not even.
I don't know. He played pretty well.
Low key at some points of the year, definitely. And Fnatic had like a lot of shit periods, but he was pretty.
They had one main one really. Oh, I guess two maybe if you split it. But yeah, I mean those are obviously the 12 names that are gonna be in. It's just about the order.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frozen as well. Frozen is the other one, but I think
Frozen, I feel like must have been really somewhere on the edge, like at least close to it. Maybe not like 21, but maybe like somewhere up to the 25th. I feel like it had to be close.
Can you justify for people here, like, why you think NaTo, for example? Because someone just said here, to be honest, NaTo wasn't even top 10 this year. Why is NaTo, like, you guys think he had good performances? Like, I'm not saying, I'm just devil's advocating right now for the gentleman in chat.
Well, he didn't really have any bad events on. Well, sure, he did like 2, but other than that, he played really well at all year long, even if FaZe didn't. So that's basically it. And he was MVP in both of their title runs.
There's a perception that he played super bad half of the year, but even that major where people said he played super bad, his rating was 1.0. So that is just a perception we have because we expect NaTo to like be on a higher level than other people.
Obviously,
and then he's just like average.
Number 3 in the world from last year, right? So
yeah,
or number 2 from the previous.
Chet, how high do you think Breeze is going to be?
I think he'll be maybe 8. I guess 8. That's a fair number.
He had some absolutely monstrous performances. He tapered off a little bit towards the end of the year, right? He started to slow down a little bit, but
he had a small resurgence at Epicenter. Wasn't too bad.
I didn't watch that event.
By the way, for people in the chat, we don't know how close other people were. We don't know how like what the list below the 20th place looks like. But Peter usually, like around this time when it gets past the first 10, he usually announces like which players made it close. So you like at a point where it's pretty obvious that they're not going to make it anymore. So you should, like, in the next couple of days or 3 days, you should just keep an eye on Peter's Twitter. He always throws out some of these other names that he thought are noteworthy.
What do you guys think is like your like top 5, or like who can you guess like is in that area?
Look, I know who the top 4 are. It has to be.
Like for me, it's like Zywoo first, Device, Simple, Elige, Electronic, Naf.
Oh, I think Megas has to be ahead of like Electronic and Naf.
Think so? Maybe I'll put like Magis, then Naf, and then maybe Electronic. I don't know. It's something like that, in my opinion.
It's like Electronic, like Navi skipped a bunch of events this year in the middle part. I mean, so did Astralis earlier in the year, though. Yeah. But when they played, they had deeper runs overall. So that's kind of the part where I'm not really sure where like Magis versus Electronic stand.
I feel like it's entirely possible that Electronic will not be in the top 5. I don't think he had that amazing of a year as he did last year.
How many MVPs did Megas get this year? He had the major one, right?
First, the major, and he had Lisbon before that, but I feel like he had another one later.
Blast Pro Series Global Finals? Oh, that's the trophy.
Oh, that was the trophy.
MVP.
Oh, he just Katowice, and that's it. He had Lisbon and Katowice, and that's it.
Okay.
The thing is, like, a lot of people also like reading the comments, which kind of gets me tilted all the time. People completely misrepresent how the list is made, saying that like you're literally saying like one comment saying one thing and the other guy is saying the complete different thing. But most of the people are saying that team achievements matter when they actually don't matter. The only thing that matters is like how you perform deep in the tournament. Like that is the part that matters. But it doesn't matter where your team places in the end. Like if you play the final and lose the final, but you're sick in the final, that is going to be worth something, right? But obviously it's going to be worth more if you win the game than if you don't win the game. Some of these things are like, for years now, every time like people in Reddit or on HLTV just like, oh, but this means this. And it doesn't mean that. I don't
people
know
see
where
it backwards, right? People see it like as if like achievements have impacted, but it's the other way around, right?
The thing is, like, if someone plays very good in the playoffs, that team from that guy is probably going to do well, so they're going to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not because they went deep in the playoffs. It's because this guy that played well pushed his team into that far into the tournament. That's why he placed high, right? That is the thinking behind the. Of course, people can have their own lists which are different, but this list functions this way. So it would be nice if people understood basic
If
things.
you become a sports mode user and you don't go on Reddit anymore, then you don't have to read any of the comments like me, and life is so much simpler, and you do yoga in the morning and you're happy and things are good.
Speaking of, actually, just because we were talking with Chet about this just before the show went live, How do you see the fights? I mean, okay, first of all, do we agree that ZywOo will be number 1?
Yeah,
I think he
do.
has to be, right?
Yeah, I'm just checking just in case I'm not assuming the wrong thing here. I'm like assuming ZywOo's number 1. How do we feel about the fight between Device and Simple for number 2 and 3?
I would put Device ahead of Simple this year.
Yeah.
Last year.
That's
Like, he has
what
way
Trevor's
too many
saying as well.
EVPs, MVPs, like everything's like favoring him. Whereas Simple, he didn't really have that much this year.
What about you, Prof?
Yeah, I think Device is ahead of Simple in this one.
I was convinced that Simple
But I
was going to
didn't
be
look
second.
at it like side to side.
The thing is, like, I was really convinced that Simple was going to be second for sure. That it was just about Simple and ZywOo for first, and that's pretty obvious. Like if you put those two up against each other and look beyond the stats, obviously ZywOo had like what four MVPs and God knows how many other EVPs. Simple didn't even have four wars together. I feel like, or maybe he had one MVP, 3 EVPs or something. Yeah, 1 MVP he didn't have. So,
1 MVP,
like, from that,
5 EVPs for Simple.
5 EVPs.
Yeah.
Could the Liege
Okay.
even push Simple out of like top 3?
That's
I
another
thought
thing
that
I was
as
gonna
well,
ask. That's another thing what I was gonna ask, because like that the top 4 I think is pretty obvious that it's gonna be ZywOo, Simple, Device, Elysian, whatever order, right? So I was just considering thinking about how Simple is gonna fit into all of this, because yeah, obviously he was far from the same year as last year, right? He had some like 6 MVPs last year and a whole bunch of other EVPs. He was just undoubtedly the best player in the world. This time
Okay, Elysian is actually insane. He has 3 MVPs and 9 EVPs.
That's sick. Big list.
Yeah.
So that's
Fucking
why. That's how I
insane.
feel
Could push
like.
him out.
That's why I feel like Simple might actually be pushed out of the top 3 somehow. Even though I thought at first that it was pretty obvious number 2. I was just curious about your guys' input, because I wasn't entirely sure about it myself.
Just
I
thinking
agree
about
with all that.
how fucking insane is that we have all of these amazing players in the same year. Like,
I mean, how unlucky are you if you're Device, by the way, though? Like, literally, it had to be like the fucking most insane player we have ever seen turning up last year in Simple, or in 2018 anyway. And then ZywOo fucking comes in almost tops that, or just like almost the same kind of player, you know, who just carries his team insanely hard. And Device in the meantime is like somewhere among these players thinking, well, okay, I guess I can't really
yeah,
beat
like
them.
Device this year was better than Device last year. Like, he did his own thing. He improved.
That's ridiculous.
He improved, and then still didn't he didn't achieve the thing that not wanted to achieve. It's not like his first thing in his life, but it would be a good thing for his career to have that as well. And then he'll do the same thing next year. He'll be even better, and then these 2 guys, or like some third guy that comes out of nowhere, is going to be the best player in the world, which is bullshit for Device, definitely.
I think
I mean,
it's
he's
just
winning
kind of
trophies,
unlucky.
so he should be happy.
Yeah, I mean, he's won something like $1 billion in prize money
2
over the last 2 years.
majors,
Won 4 majors and whatever.
And the Danish government taking a lovely 60% of that after every turn. So
And the nation's thriving where he lives. Like, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
They're really happy for it, I guess. Oh, fuck. All right. I think we've almost exhausted all of the top 20 talk up to this point. Chat, as we are running over, I'm going to give you the floor here. Is there anything that you want to talk about at all? If you say no, that's fine.
Honestly, the economy thing is kind of interesting, but
right, give
you
us-
guys might have talked
No,
about it a
give
lot.
us a.
You should not have started this with
I just feel like the
that.
economy right now, it punishes you for winning a lot, because the tees can always buy, and if they, like, we even had a match where we were bringing them down to 1 or 2 people every time, and we always got bomb plant, and we had a better buy than them every time. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I couldn't believe it was
I
happening.
think CTs are definitely the problem. Like, obviously, like, I don't even think the economy as a whole.
Can I ask a
just
question before you go into it? According to Striker, the CT win rate didn't change much with all of these updates. So then why is that the case? Because it feels intuitively that the T side is more powerful now. Like, more dangerous.
Also because of Kriegs, right? And that's obviously not the
Kriegs
case.
and economy being more, like, these changes kind of help the Ts more than the CTs.
I have no idea why the win rate's not changed. I have no idea.
But I was
But
looking
like,
into
it
this exactly
feels like you're
because
pressured the whole game. Like, it
Yeah.
just feels like that way, like all the time. Like, you have no money. like you're struggling to get ops and utility. Like it just feels like that every game that you play now, and like no round is safe. Like you're pressured every round. Maybe CTs are doing a better job now at winning the rounds, but they're fucking stressful as fuck, and like your guard is always up. Like it's never there's no more fucking USP rounds or Glock rounds. Like you're not rewarded for winning ever. Like it's just fucked the whole time. CT size just sucks, and then the bonus is fucked up. Like the T shouldn't get 1900. First of all, like that's an obvious change that Valve could make it 1400 for Ts, 1900 for CTs, but they refuse to do that for some reason. It's just I don't know, it's just fucked. Like, but these matches might be fun for viewers, but like for a fucking team, it's terrible. Like it's too much pressure every round.
My thing is now with the state of the economy, we don't need MR15 anymore. Like it's too many rounds of Counter-Strike if every round's just going to be the same shit. Like let's just go back to MR12, or let's come up with a new way that suits the current format better. Because in a game like League of Legends or Dota or a game like that where the meta shifts, you can have games that finish quicker because it's a more like brawly or fighting meta or however it snowballs. I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't fucking play those games, but I listen to the analysts and sometimes they say some things that sticks. But that kind of shifts, and then those, sometimes it'll go longer, sometimes it'll go shorter. We can't change those things. We have longer round time, we have a longer bomb time, and I like those changes because it actually allows for those situations to be played with more diversity, which is what we're all about in the modern world, apparently.
Change that.
We could change that, you reckon?
Well, with what is it called? Fuck, I'm blanking out with the name. But basically, like you have a certain amount of time to win rounds, right?
Oh, rushes. That's how it's.
No,
like,
it's well, yeah. We would have obviously like that's what it would have turned into. That it would have to be more fast paced. But what is it called though?
Chargers only.
Oh, chargers only. There you go. That's it. That's what I was thinking. But obviously, yeah, I don't like
that.
That
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm just saying that's an option if you wanna like standardize like set lengths of matches, right? That would be a way to do it. But I don't I don't necessarily think that.
No, I'm not saying
make
that.
The game good.
What I'm saying, because the thing is, if everything's exciting, then nothing is. If every game goes 16-14, or every game is looking like it's going to go overtime, I'm watching these games, bro, and the scoreline, maybe a team's up 12-7. At no point am I like, yeah, well, they're going to win a round that's basically going to get them to up to 14. It's not going to happen. It's just a constant tug of war back and forth.
That's not entirely
constantly.
True, though. I don't think that's entirely true. Like, sure, it probably feels that way to you, but if you think about it, like, all of these like semi force buys still have like a very low % chance win rate. Like if it's like a 2K force buy, from what I was looking into it, like those win rates have actually not changed at all. Like it remains the same compared to like slightly lower buys and stuff like that.
Not just about the win rate though. It's about like how much damage the weapons can do in the round.
Well,
like your
course,
economy is just fucked like all game.
It has different implications, of course. But in general, like you can still kind of make a pretty good assessment of a round and say this team has a much higher chance of winning this round, and that's gonna like snowball them into a different advantage, right? Maybe the advantage is not gonna be as big as it was before, but you still get some sort of an advantage.
There's no
it's not
advantage
like the rounds no, that's not true though.
No,
there's barely any advantage.
There's no advantage
it's still
anymore.
There. It's still there, it's just not as big.
The advantage is there in like the numbers. If you want to just look at the stats, which everything needs context, right? You can say, yeah, they do have more money, but that's not the way that the game flows. This is why I'm saying we should play less rounds, because if that's the case, then it doesn't matter. We don't need 16 rounds to determine the same thing we could have determined in 13 rounds, right? But now we're playing all these extra rounds of Counter-Strike with the entire game just being a constant brawl. These guys, EG, had a game on Nuke where they were lured into having to force buy every round because they were one round away from breaking. They just had to win one round against, I forget who they were playing, but they could have fucked the CT economy and they would have been able to get away with it. But the game, just the way it's playing at the moment, it's more enticing for you to keep buying. There's almost no reason to save, right? It's taken away the excitement curve for me. Like the way that Counter-Strike is being played at the moment, I love watching like it doesn't even feel like you need to come up with as many strategies anymore of unique things to do, because every round is almost just mid-round CS, like a 3v3 or a 2v3.
Well, I think that you're like overblowing it a bit. I think one of the things that you said is like the curve is kind of lost. The thing is, as a viewer, you kind of used to know like what happens in the game. Like at the moment, like you can even ask chat here, like the teams don't know what's going on. The teams don't know if he's going to force buy or not, because there's always the opportunity to force buy or maybe to not, or to go like a semi buy or do something else. And that is the thing, like if the teams, if the pro teams can't understand what is going on, then obviously the viewers can't. And then you can't really understand like why something is important or not, because it feels random. It feels like anything can happen at any point, even though the money really determines outcomes of rounds. Like if you have more money, you're gonna win on a more, there is still like I don't know, a pattern that can be analyzed and understood, but I feel like either there are too many changes or there are too many options, and then it's kind of all blurred into a mess right now.
Like there is too many options. Like why would you, like, for example, like you could just save and always have like right now you see like a lot of Galil, Deagles, like all these like weird rounds, like some people have Krieg, some people don't. Like you could save and like have a sick buy, but why would you if you could break their economy or like damage them a little bit more, like anything like that, like any of these like options, like you would just keep buying, or like you would buy like a little bit or like half buy because you're gonna get max rounds.
Yeah,
like
I mean the half
bonus.
buys are definitely something that have increased. That like you were saying that there are not that many like full ecos like full Glocks or full USPs, but those half buys still happen just as often as they used to. Well, like either a half buy or an eco just happens like just as often as it used to. So it still has that curve. Like either that team is, maybe like force buys have been a little bit more prominent now, but still that curve is still there, like from half buys to full buys. So I feel like it hasn't changed all that much. Like sure, the advantages have been lowered, but it's not like the curve has completely disappeared. It's just obviously like people have to be a little bit more aware of these half buys and the fact that they're just not going to get a free rounded. But it's still a round in which they're pretty heavily favored. So it's still, you can still see that, okay, this team has a lot more economy, like they should win the next round, and then that's going to have some implications on the match, right? So I feel like, sure, I get it. There's not that many advantages, or not as big one, because of the economic implications that these half buys have, because they just take away more guns from the other side. But they are still, the curve is still there to me.
Can I ask a question? With this new economy, is the outcome of a best of one more or less random?
I have no idea.
Less?
I have no idea.
I
I feel
don't
like the
know.
pistol round
Wouldn't
doesn't
you
even fucking matter.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you're not worried, and
But
you're not worried
I'd say-
about.
Pistol round doesn't matter that
I'd
much,
say less
and then you
random.
can't get money fucked. Is that then not better?
I'd say yes.
In
I'd say it
It's
is.
better for a best of one, yeah. Then we should just play all of our series best of one. Then we can fucking do we need the best of three anymore? You see, for me, like Counter-Strike, we could fucking go forever. But the reason that I like the way Counter-Strike was before is, sure, like you win your map pick, and then they win their map pick, you go on to the third, and you're like showing like the strength in the map pools and showing diversity of strategies. Whereas Counter-Strike now, the way that I view it is just the individuals. I think it's great that the individuals across the board are so strong, but you don't get to see like any new takes on things anymore. Like when was the last time you saw, other than Vertigo, any new strategies or new stuff coming out that even gets your dick hard from a tactical standpoint? No one's doing that shit anymore. Who gives a fuck? You don't need to.
That's the reference I like right there.
Just have Breeze rock on up. Have Breeze rock on up, fucking sandbag on overpass with an SG and just blast every cunt's head off. Like that's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything quite creative. And sure, we could say, oh yeah, Astralis came and they did the tactical nades. But everyone, like now everyone's doing that. Like there's not even, I don't know, just
Yeah,
And that,
I don't know. It's so fucked.
Okay, let's just finish it off with something tangible. What would you do to make it better? Like 2 easy steps.
In my first thing, I already said it. The T's
You said,
should get 1400 when they lose pistol, and then CTs should keep the 1900. So that's one you could do. And then 2, I would just change the money back completely. Like I wouldn't have they get to keep so much loss bonus, or maybe I would reduce their loss bonus a little bit. Like these get a max of like 2400 or something, maybe some shit like that. So that way, if they get bomb plant, they'd still get good buys no matter what. Because getting bomb plants isn't that hard.
Well, my suggestion I've already said before, and I think Elise said it as well. At some point, I would just remove return the way the economy worked before without the slider for the loss bonus. and just remove the 1400 bonus completely. Obviously, well, you could probably make a case for T's, but then why do CTs have more expensive weaponry in the first place, right? There was a reason for that, and then so it's kind of hard for me to tell if that would be a good move in general. But I just like the removal of the 1400 bonus in completely and just moving the economy back to how it used to work with proper resets.
Hear me out, Prof. Hear me out. This is what we do. This guy just told me to take a holiday. This was on a fucking 4-week holiday. Fucking hell. This is what we got to do. We got to change it to MR9. Everybody starts with 16k. We reduce the round time. We reduce the round time to a minute, and we call it the Championship Gaming Sauna. And that's what we do, and that's the new version of Counter-Strike.
I feel
and
like
it's 3-on-3.
And it's 3-on-3.
And we're playing these.
I love it. There's so many more orcs coming in.
And there's you only allowed 1 orc per team.
I'm leaving this conversation.
Banning ops altogether because it's a shit weapon. It's like a noob.
Easy.
All right, how are you fixing it, Prof? And then we'll close it down.
I'm not fixing it. I'm just leaving it as it is.
All right, let's just watch the headshots. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. Chat, thank you for joining us. Do you want to say some stuff? Do you have to thank the sponsors or do any of that shit?
Do I have to?
No, you don't have to. I'm asking. I don't know.
I mean, like, thanks CG. Like, thanks for paying me, dog. Like,
there we go. Keep the payments coming. Keep it in the bank account. Don't make him chase invoices like me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, HLTV Confirmed, episode 5. It's fucking late. It's 20 to 1 in the morning. You can tune in anchor.fm/HLTV for the audio version. We'll have all the tidbits up on the fucking Twitter, on the YouTube. You can see our Twitter there, twitter.com/HLTV Confirmed. We're going to be back with the next show on the 14th. Yeah, that's a week away from now. There'll be some Counter-Strike happening. Make sure you tune in. And yeah, just remember, guys, because the year's kicking off. Graduate high school and be nice to your mum. The rest of this shit, it doesn't matter. Do whatever the fuck you want. Good night.